Keteři a četinci, vítejte u dalšího Fate Stay Night Remastered. Doufám, že jste nemuseli čekat moc dlouho. Dneska budou dva streamy. Jeden z Fate Stay Nightu, druhý z jedné speciální hry. Kurva, špatný tap. Bum. Dneska se podíváme do světa Elden Ringu, ale to přijde lehce později. Doufám, protože Koel je absolutně obsessed se souzrama. Ale to mi nevadí, protože já mám docela taky rád souzry. A budeme totiž hrát Elden Ring First Person Mode v Seamless Coopu. Takže čekám, že to bude kurva crazy. Každopádně, to přijde až kolem 4:00. Teď jdeme hrát Fate Stay Night Remastered. Samozřejmě budeme pokračovat tam, kde jsme minule skončili. Ok, počkám si na stream, až začne capturovat. Ok. Let me introduce her. This is my servant, Ryder. ... A chill runs down my spine. The chill is so intense it stings the back of my neck. I thought we were going to talk alone, Shinji. I take a step back. Bastard malej. Don't mind her. She's just here as a precaution. I wouldn't want you taking the chance to ambush me. I'd rather have her nearby. Shinji reaches out towards his dark servant, Ryder. His fingers caress along her waist, then stroke down her thigh. Nešahej na ní, Shinji. Ryder doesn't move a muscle. She is still as a statue, keeping watch on me through veiled eyes. I imagine she can even see my fingertips shivering. Some hospitality you're showing to a guest you invited. You might be going a bit far with your caution, Shinji. I'm just kidding. I know perfectly well you're not the type to do something like that. Your servant's another story though. Training this one took me a while. Actually, it's not unusual for a servant to ignore their master's orders. So just think of this as me keeping an eye on things. A servant who doesn't obey their master? Now that I look closer, Ryder is a little different than Saber. Saber is silent, but she is not frosty. I sense only coldness from Ryder. A human almost completely lacking humanity. A dark figure that looks like the blood in its veins has discolored. She doesn't give the impression of a heroic spirit turned servant. I can only sense something inorganic, devoid of any light. So, Ryder is your way of keeping my servant in check. Can't say I love that. Sorry about that, but I'm an amateur, you know. I'm not used to this kind of stuff unlike you. You'll have to forgive me for that. Huh. Can't say I'm exactly used to this either. Shiro, jestli mu řekneš, že nemůžeš vyvolat Saber, protože není v spirit formě, já tě zabiju. That's so. Oh, then why don't you call yours out too? It'll help us understand each other and things will be even. Počkej si do Heavensfieldu, abych ti beatnul prdel. Yeah, let's do that. Hey, Emiya. I showed you mine, so show me yours. Shinji really thinks sabers are right next to me. It's probably best to let him know thinking that. Oh, fuck. It's probably best to let him keep thinking that. I refuse. If you're just going to keep me in check, you shouldn't mind. That should be enough if I'm just here to talk. That's What the hell? Don't you get it? I said I want to see it. I don't know why you're being a little shit about it, but I think it'll be in your best interest to listen to me. When we are done talking, I don't come here to show off our servants. If that was what you wanted, I'm heading home. Okay, Shiro, jsi actually smart. Myslím, že v anime by tohle hnedka prokec, ten kokot. Fine, you're useless as usual. He moans discontentedly and slumps further into his chair. Okay, let's talk then. There's really only one thing I want to talk about anyway. Yeah, as I was saying earlier, wanna team up with me, Emiya? I might have become a master, but I don't know what the hell a Holy Grail war even is. I would rather work with someone I know I can trust than to do this by myself. Hold up, I want to ask you something. My answer will depend on your response. What's that? You want to know why I became a master? I nod. As far as I know, Shinji is not a mage. Until I find out how Shinji was selected to be a master, I don't intend on working with him. I hear mages are the only ones who can be masters. I may be inexperienced, but I'm training in magecraft. I became a master because I formed a contract with a servant by sheer coincidence. Did you accidentally summon a servant and get dragged into this Holy Grail war too? If that's what happened with him, we are in the same boat. I don't think I would be able to refuse his proposal to team up in that case. Huh? So you became a master by coincidence, huh? Good. That's a more reasonable explanation. Shinji giggles like it's the funniest thing he's ever heard. Well, I guess something similar happened with me. At least in that I was forced into becoming a master like you. Don't get me wrong though. I knew what masters were, and I've known about Holy Grail wars forever now. Unlike your family, the Mato family is a respected line of mages. What? The Matos are a family of mages? What? I've never heard that before. Wait, does that mean you... And Sakura, his sister, have also trained in magecraft.
落ち着けよエミヤ。マトウ家はね、魔術師の家系ではあるけど、もう枯れてしまった一族なんだ。
Calm down, Emiya. The Mato family may be a family of mages, but its powers run dry.
マトウの先祖は、遠坂の家と一緒にこの土地にやってきたらしいが、日本の土が合わなかったんだってさ。
The Mato ancestors apparently rooted themselves here along with the Tosaka family, but they couldn't adapt well to Japan.
代を重ねるごとに、魔術回路ってやつ？それが減っていって、僕が生まれた時にはもう、マトウの血筋は一般人に戻ってしまったそうだ。
And as generations went, the, magic circuits? Yeah, those started to dwindle. And by the time I was born, the Mato bloodline was pretty much back to the point of being more or less ordinary humans.
だから、マトウの人間は魔術師じゃない。昔魔術師であった家系なだけなんだ。
That's why there are no mages in the Mato family. It's just a line that used to be mages. Used to be mages. So now the only thing that remains in your family is your knowledge of magecraft.
ああ、残念ながらね。けど、魔術回路がなくなったって、魔術を学ぶことに変わりはない。マスターのことも、聖杯戦争のことも、調べればすぐに分かった。突然マスターに選ばれて、こうやって落ち着けるのも、先代の教えがあったからなのさ。
Yeah, unfortunately. But even if we don't have any magic circuits, you're still able to learn magecraft. I managed to look up everything about masters and Holy Grail wars easily enough. And I was able to keep my emotions under control when I found myself being a master. Because of my ancestors' teachings. ... I see. When I became a master, it was Tosaka who taught me about the Holy Grail wars. So, similarly, Shinji was able to understand his own situation thanks to the writings his family passed down. In other words, he only learned about magecraft itself. Does that mean Sakura has been learning about magecraft too?
はあ、はあ、もう本当に何も知らないんだな、君。
You don't know anything, do you?
いいかい？古い家柄の魔術師は一人にしか秘術を伝えないんだ。子供が二人いたら跡取りにするのは長男だけだよ。
Listen, old mage families only pass down their secret knowledge to a single person. If there are two children, the oldest male becomes their heir.
一つのものを二つに分けたら力が薄まるだろう。
Splitting something in two just dilutes its power.
10の魔術を一つの結晶にして残していき、血をより濃くしていくのが魔術師だ。いくら肉親だからって安売りはしないのさ。
A mage's job is to collect 10 magecraft disciplines and crystallize them, then leave that to their heir to strengthen their bloodline. There are no exceptions, not even for family.
だから魔術師の家系はね、跡取り以外に魔術は教えない。後継者に選ばれなかった子供は、自分の家が魔術を学ぶものだと知らずに育てられるか、養子に出すっていうのがセオリーなのさ。
That's why mage families don't teach magecraft to anyone other than their heirs. Children who weren't selected to be the family's successor either never learn that their family practices magecraft, or they're sent to be adopted by a different family. I see. That's a relief. I sigh in relief. I want Sakura to live a normal, peaceful life, having nothing to do with magecraft. I would never want her to get involved in a battle that forces someone to fight without reason. So now do you get it, Emiya? I may have become a master, but I've got no power in magecraft.
君はそうだね。少しは使えるって言うけど、知識の方は素人同然だ。
You, on the other hand, said you can use a little, but you have next to no knowledge of magecraft.
ほら、ちょうどいいと思わないか。勝手にマスターにさせられた者同士、協力しようよ。
See? Don't you think we are a good match? We are both forced to be masters. Let's work together. Guys, ty mi rozhodně skvěle, perfektní. I don't have a problem with that. I just want to be clear though. You're proposing this to protect yourself, right?
いや、それもあるけど、まずは当面の敵を叩かないとまずいんじゃない？僕、なんか彼女から目の敵にされてるみたいだしさ。
In part, yes. But I think we'll need to work on getting rid of our immediate enemy first. I feel like she's been giving me the evil eye. Giving you the evil eye? Are you talking about Tosaka?
そんなの決まってるじゃないか。そうでもなく、
To je kokot.
邪険にするものか。
To je takový self-confident malý bastard, já ho tak nenávidím, já se těším, až ho zabije berserker. Of course I am. She wouldn't be treating me like crap otherwise.
いいか。あいつは他のマスターを許さないやつだぞ。そんなの一緒にいるエミヤだってわかるだろう。
Listen, she'll be relentless against the other masters. You should know that by now, since you've been with her for a while.
けどさ、何の物好きか知らないけど、遠坂は君に気を許している。あの隙のない女がだぜ。
I don't know what's gotten into her, but for some reason, Tosaka is warm to you. Why would a girl who never drops her guard do that?
ほら、倒すには絶好の機会だと思わない？
So come on, don't you think this is our opportunity to defeat her? Shinji holds his hand out to shake. ... I won't be a part of that. Actually, I can't. If Shinji really wanted to protect himself, he would have asked Tosaka too, not just me. Besides, Shinji, do you know there's someone overseeing this Holy Grail war?
ああ、教会の神父だってね。前回の生き残りだって言うけど、うるさそうだから会ってないよ。
Yeah, the priest at the church, right? I heard he was a survivor of the previous war, but I haven't met him. He seems annoying.
僕は魔術師じゃないんだから、魔術師としてのルールなんて押し付けられるのは面倒じゃない？
I'm not a mage, so I don't want anyone to push their rules on me. ... Shinji's contradicting himself. If he really wanted to stop fighting, he should have gone straight to Kotomine. Shinji, did you know there's a bounded field set up over the school?
知ってるよ。僕にはわからないけど、ライダーが教えてくれた。
Yep.
それがどうしたっていうのさ。
Yep. I didn't know this, but the writer told me. What about it? Isn't it your doing? Tosaka said it was the work of a master at school.
ああ、あれは僕じゃないよ。確かにあの学園にはもう一人マスターがいるから。
Jo, jsem tam ještě Soichiro. Oni jsou vlastně 4 mástři ve škole. Oh, well, it's not me. I know there's another master at our school, so it's probably them. Huh? Tosaka said there's only one other master.
遠坂を信用しすぎるのもなんだけどね。ま、それは別にしても、あいつは間違ってるよ。
I wouldn't recommend just blindly trusting Tosaka. Either way, she's wrong.
遠坂が探っている気配は魔術回路ってやつなんだろ？
Tosaka's trying to trace masters by sensing their magic circuits, right?
なら僕は彼女が感知できるマスターじゃない。だって元から魔術回路なんてないんだから。
If so, I wouldn't be one of the masters she could detect, since I don't have magic circuits to begin with.
初めからさ、僕は普通のマスターたちのレーダーに映らない存在なんだよ。
From the very beginning, I wouldn't even be a blip on the other masters' radars. I see. The presence of mages or command spells ultimately activates through magical energy. But if someone without magical energy becomes a master, the only way to identify them would be seeing them directly. Tosaka's method of seeking out people with their own magical energy wouldn't lead her to masters like Shinji. Shinji doesn't have a single one of the traits Tosaka is expecting in a master. I see. So Tosaka must be sensing a different master. I should warn Tosaka about this when I get home. With that settled, there's no point in me staying here any longer. Hey, Emiya! What about our partnership? Proč mi Quell posílá, vole, really, to je kokot. Ty pičus. Snaží se mě distraktovat. Okay. Okay, všechno jde v pohodě. I'll have to refuse. I'm not going to help you defeat Tosaka. Besides, she hasn't done anything. I know I'll have to fight her one day. But I trust right now, and I want to keep on trusting her.
何かあってからじゃ遅いと思うけどね。まあ、そういうならいい。僕も君と同じく様子を見るさ。
Huh. When something does happen, it'll be too late. But if that's how you feel, I'm not gonna push it. I'll wait it out and see, just like you. Surprisingly, Shinji gives up. He doesn't try to stop me from going home and he doesn't send Rider to attack me. Shinji really is a complicated guy. He may act like a jerk, but he seems to try to play fair in his own way. Hey, Shinji. I know I'm hopping on this, but does Sakura know about you?
知らないし、教えてやるつもりもない。マトウの跡取りは僕だからね。さくらには何も知らないまま、僕の妹でいさせてやるさ。
She doesn't, and I don't intend on telling her. I'm the heir of the Mato family. Sakura can just remain my little sister and be none the wiser. That would be great. I don't want Sakura's life to change.
そうか。そこまでさくらの心配をされちゃ、兄貴として礼をしないとね。よし。一ついいことを教えてやるよ、エミヤ。
Fine. Since I'm her big brother, I should be thanking you for being so concerned about Sakura. Okay, let me tell you something good, Emiya.
誰だかは知らないけど、マスターの一人は寺に巣を張ってるよ。
I don't know who it is, but one of the masters have set up a nest for themselves in the temple. What? The temple? You mean the Ryudoji?
ああ、
Ryudoji?
僕のサーバントが言うには、山には魔女が潜んでいるそうだ。大規模に魂を集めているそうだから、早めに叩かないと厄介らしい。
Yeah, according to my servant, there's a witch living in the mountains. She's supposedly collecting a bunch of souls. Some things are going to get ugly if nobody does anything about her. What? If that's true, that makes 5 masters. And if this witch is collecting a massive amount of souls, there's a high probability it's the cause of what came up in the news this morning.
話はそれだけだよ。
That's all I've got for you.
それじゃあライダー、送ってやってよ。いいかい？エミヤは味方だから。
Rider, oh. Rider, see him out. You're not to harm Emiya since he's on our side. Shinji orders Rider and she walks closer to me. No, well, that's...
遠慮するなって。家を出るまでは僕の責任なんだから。怪我をされたら困る。
Don't worry about it. I'm responsible for your safety as long as you're in my house. It wouldn't do for you to get hurt or anything like that.
ああ、ライダー。送るのは玄関まででいいからな。外にさえ出てくれたら、僕とは無関係。
Zabije hnedka venku.
Oh,
Rider. You only have to see him as far as the front door. Once he's out of the house, he's not my concern. But treat him well until then. Shinji retreats to the back room. ... I silently look towards Raida. Raida a Shiro mají docela hodnoujin. ... The black-garbed rider says nothing. What surprises me though is that when I take a closer look, I notice she has a graceful and innocent-looking face. Her floor-length purple hair exudes a foul odor of blood. But at the same time, she's unbelievably beautiful. I realize I'm staring because of her appearance and I'm embarrassed for a moment, but I feel like her face and her outfit just don't match at all. If I had to boil her down to a single phrase, she's like a priestess dripping in blood. She's both holy and evil. Rider is a walking contradiction. Actually, why are all heroic spirits so beautiful? As I think this, I find myself looking up at Rider's face out of sheer curiosity. Whoa, she's pretty tall for a woman. She's easily 170 centimeters tall. This really isn't the time for calm observation. Being alone with her is a problem in itself. I should hurry out of the Mato mansion. Ryder sticks with me all the way to the entrance. I don't know about this. She doesn't even seem alive, but maybe she'll answer if I try talking to her. Já myslím, že když s ní promluvím, tak mě zabije. Mám takový špatný pocit, ale zkusíme to. Talk to Raida. Raida, was what Shinji said earlier true? I ask, not really expecting a response. There's no change in Raida, just her long hair fluttering in the wind. I figured it as much. Sorry for asking such a stupid question when we are supposed to be enemies. I step out through the door, raising my hand to show her my appreciation for seeing me out. But then... Oh my gosh. He did not lie. There is a witch living in the mountains. Huh? Raida? You must proceed with caution. If you intend to challenge her, that witch knows how the minds of men work. Raida speaks indifferently. I realize her voice is drawing me in and shake my head to clear it. Thanks for the warning. And take good care of Shinji. As you can see, he's a bit of a pain, but I hope you can protect him. I catch myself getting surprised, but I manage to reply. I guess that was funny, because... You are a noble soul. I can see why Shinji warmed to you. Oh, já jsem myslel, že mě zabije. Ryder giggles softly, then disappears into the Mato house. Oh. Okay, save. Load. Jako hádám, že to bude úplně stejný dialog, nebo podobný dialog. Fools rush in where angels fear to tread. No matter how pretty she is, Ryder reeks of blood. That alone should be enough to keep me on my guard. Well, and... I really don't know where to look, so talking to her is really not a priority. What is it? Já musím dělat svůj dead voice. What is it? I quickly avert my gaze. Nothing. Thanks for seeing me off. I start running to get away as fast as possible. Jo. I run down the hill. The dark servant silently sees me off in spite of me being completely open to attack. Jo, prostě stejná možnost. Ale já radši loadnu, protože to byla dobrá informace, co nám dala. I walk down the hill and return to the intersection. If I walk towards the residential area on the other side, I'll be heading home, but... There's a master at Ryu Doji, huh? That's about an hour's walk towards the mountains from here. The desolate mountain road eventually reaches the gates of Ryu Doji. Ryu Doji is a big temple up on the mountain. It's about the size of our school. The cemetery is large. The temple itself is like a small world of its own, with about 50 training monks living on its grounds. The people in the town use the Ryudoji for various purposes, but they also respect it as a sacred place that shouldn't be entered lightly. Now that I think about it, I haven't been to Ryudoji recently. I haven't been there ever since I stayed there for some mental training last summer. I know temple life is harsh during the winter, so I was thinking about visiting during winter break. Huh? What's a guy who cut afternoon classes doing here? Speak of the devil. I run into Ryudoji's heir, Issei Ryudo, on the road. Hey there, is school over?
終わったとも。生徒会でやることもないので帰ってきたのだが、何かあったのか？見たところお山を眺めていたようだが。
Obviously, I don't have anything to do for the student council, so I was heading home. Is something wrong? You looked like you were staring up at the mountain. No, there's nothing wrong. I just felt like going home.
なんとなくで授業を休まれては教師は商売上がったりだ。で、なぜお山なんぞを拝んでおったのかと聞いているのだが。
Huh. Teachers would be out of a job if people like you just cut classes whenever they felt like it. Anyway, I'm curious why you're staring at the mountain. It's nothing, but can I ask you something? Has anything strange happened recently?
変動など左半時だが、さりとて劇的な境地に至ることもなし。お山は日々これ平穏。しかるに平穏こそ日常よ。
Change is a constant, but doesn't lead to big, dramatic developments. The mountain is always at peace, and peace is the focus of daily life. I'm being serious here.
失礼な。こっちだって真面目だぞ。
How dare you? So am I. Yes, you are. Sorry to bother you.
わかればよい。俺がエミヤ相手にふざけるものか。
It's fine as long as you understand. I'll never kid around with you, Emiya. Issei clears his throat to calm himself down.
だが、変化があるといえばあるのだが、どうしたものかな。
Though I do have to report that there has been a change. That said, I'm not entirely sure how to explain it. Huh? A change? At the temple?
お山ではなくうちの空気が浮ついている。親父殿の知り合いらしいのだが、少しばかり厄介な客人を迎えていてな。これが結構な美人であるから始末が悪い。
No, my dear. Yeah, but not of the mountain. However, the situation has left everyone in the temple restless. We have a guest at the temple, and they're apparently an acquaintance of my father. But the awkwardness is because of them. She's a beautiful woman, which makes it a touchy subject.
まったく。皆も女一人に何を騒いでいるのやら。
Honestly, I don't know why there's such a fuss over a woman. A woman? Does Ryudoji have any nuns?
おらぬ。わけありでな。祝言まで部屋を貸し与えているのだが。いや、これが確かに美しい人でな。
No, but they've made an exception for her, and we're letting her use the room until the wedding happens. Well, she really is beautiful, so I have to admit that even I get captivated by her looks whenever I go out and fetch water from the well. What do you mean an exception, Issei? Hey, are you even listening? Apologies. This is why women are bad news. Reject lust. Issei! Calm down. Issei! The student council president mumbles some sort of sutra. Hello? You okay, Issei? I'm quite alright. I'm just not as disciplined, so it's a matter of training harder. I can tell he's not listening. Issei continues to mumble, giving himself a pep talk, and disappears into the town's outskirts. By the time I get back home, the sun is almost setting. And just like yesterday, I'm the first one back home. Sakura and Fujine will probably get here soon too, and Tosaka will come home later on. I'll mention what I learned from Shinji after Sakura and Fujine go home. There's no point in talking in secret when those two are around. Having decided that, I'll better prepare dinner. Tosaka beat me with her cooking last night, and I need to do something about to improve Fujine's mood. The secret ingredient to a great dish is time and effort, rather than love. If I want to guarantee my win, I'll have to spend double the time I usually would on cooking. And so, here's what happened. Ha! I didn't lose! Tosaka, you're such a meanie!
ですから、私が言っているのは料理の味じゃありません。藤村先生曰く、今までで一番美味しい夕食なんですから、みんなに分け与えた方がいいんじゃないかって話です。
Let me reiterate, I'm not talking about the food's taste. According to you, tonight's dinner was the best you've ever tasted. So why not share it with everyone?
言ってることが違うと思う。
I don't think that's what she meant.
東坂さん、シロの作ったご飯はあんまり食べたくないって言ったじゃない。
You said you didn't want to eat the food Shiro made.
それは朝だけの話です。夕飯はきちんと取りますし、そもそも夕食は私とエミヤ君との交代制なんですから、私が食べるのは当然の権利じゃないですか。
I was only talking about breakfast. I will eat dinner like everyone. And Emiya and I made an arrangement to take turns cooking dinner. So what reason is there for me not to eat?
それが嫌だというのでしたら、明日からは藤村先生が代わってください。
If you don't like that, you're welcome to take my turn cooking tomorrow.
的確に急所をついてくるその性格。くそ、こんなひどい教え子だとは思わなかったよ。
So brazen. She strikes right at my weakness. Damn! I never imagined you were such a bad student. And with that, Fujine reluctantly returns the wooden container of rice to the dining table. 5 servings of my specialty mixed rice safely return to the dining table. Come on, Fujine, I made plenty of food today, so there's no need to hoard it. I made enough rice and side dishes for everyone. Nom, 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 nom.
そうですね。でも先輩、これはちょっと作りすぎかなとか。
You may be right, senpai, but this might be a bit too much for even you. Clank, clank.
4人分の樽を2段重ねというのは明らかに重量過多です。
Yes, a double-tiered barrel with food enough for 4 people is certainly over the top. Chromst, chromst. It's not a barrel, it's a round wooden container for rice. The main dish is rice today, so I made extra. If we have any leftovers, I'll make them into rice balls for lunch tomorrow. Nom nom nom.
それ私の分もいい？私チャーハンは好きじゃないんだけど、これは別格。ねえねえ、なんかいろいろ入ってるけど、何入れたわけ？
Oh, can I get in on that lunch thing? I don't like fried rice made from leftover rice, but this is exceptional. There's all kinds of stuff in this rice. What's inside?
基本的にはキノコの炊き込みご飯ですよね。油物を混ぜる代わりに柚子で香りを取ってるあたり、細かいです。
This is basically mushroom mixed rice, correct? And instead of using bean curd, he mixed in used citrus to make it aromatic. Such detail. Clank clank.
いいもん。こうなったら私一人で空にするんだから見てなさいよ。
Fine! I'm going to eat this all by myself. Just you watch. Fujine must have given up on monopolizing the wooden container of rice, but she starts to shovel food in her mouth with alarming speed. The moment her rice bowl is empty, she thrusts it out, requesting another helping. That's fine, but you really don't need to rush. There's plenty, Fujine.
いいの。シロのご飯は私が食べるんだから。昨日今日やってきた人にはあげないもん。
Don't mind me. I'm going to eat all the food that you made, Shiro. I won't be letting some stranger who just barged into our lives to eat any of this food. Fujine snatches the rice bowl. Huh? I really don't get it. Sakura laughs uncomfortably. Tosaka looks exasperated and ignores Fujine, and Saber just sits, eating her food. I worked pretty hard to make all this, but it's looking like that might have backfired. The dinner, which I had intended to make Tosaka admit defeat, ended boisterously thanks to Fujine's eccentric behavior.
それじゃあ先輩、失礼しますね。
I'll be heading home, senpai. Yeah, Fujine. Get Sakura home safely.
はいはい、分かってるから安心なさい。
Yeah, yeah, I know. Don't worry. Fujine takes Sakura's hand and they turn to go.
何シロ？なんか不思議そうな顔してるけど。
What? You're looking at me weird, Shiro. Of course I am. No normal person could even move after eating so much.
そうかな？苦しかったけど飲み込んじゃえばなんとかなるものよ。
You think so? I felt a bit full, but it was fine after that. After I finished eating all that. Fuck! Eating it. Skip him. And the problem is that Taiga doesn't realize that people have limits. You can't really expect something like that from a wild tiger. Hopefully we can try to keep her contained so she doesn't run wild in polite society. See you tomorrow. Don't stay up too late, you two.
はい。おやすみなさい、先輩。
Yes. Good night, senpai.
おやすみ、シロ。
Yep. Night, Shiro. I see the two off and go back to the living room. I mentioned I had something to tell them after dinner, so Tosaka and Saber are sitting in the living room, looking serious.
お疲れ様。それで話っていうのは何？
Good work today. So what did you want to tell us? It's about the other masters. There's something I want to tell you too. Saber's brows furrow slightly. As a servant, her life is focused on combat, rather than a peaceful daily routine. I still don't think her wounds have completely healed. Even with her healing powers, the chest wound Lance's noble phantasm inflicted won't heal quickly. With that in mind, I hesitate to tell them about Shinji. I'm the same as Shinji. I would want to avoid fighting as much as I can, and I don't think it's right for a young girl like Saber to wield a sword.
シロ、話があるのではないのですか？
Shiro, do you not have something to tell us? Oh, yeah. Let me get right to the point. I met Ryder and her master today.
ライダーのマスターに会ってきたって、いつの話よそれ。
What? Ryder's master? When did that happen?
そんなバカな。一人で敵のマスターに会うなどと、自分の身を何と考えているのですか？
That is absurd. What were you thinking, meeting an enemy master alone? Whoa, hold on, calm down. It's okay, I didn't get hurt or anything. Don't get so mad.
怒るななどと、いえ、私は怒ってなどいません。
Do not get mad. No, I'm certainly not angry.
シロの行動に呆れているだけです。
I'm simply stupefied by your actions, Shiro.
右に同じ。まあ、済んだことを言っても始まらないわ。
Ditto. Well, there's no point in getting angry over what's done.
それで、どういうことなのよ、シロ。
So explain yourself, Shiro. Dosaka and Saber are glaring at me, obviously furious. Crap. I knew they would say something about me being rash, but I never imagined they would be so livid. I met the master this afternoon. I just followed him because he said he wanted to talk, and I didn't fight him or anything.
見ればわかるわ。で、ライダーのマスターはどんなやつだったの？
Yeah, I can tell. So what kind of person was Raita's master? What sort of person? It was Shinji. He called out to me when I was walking around school looking for sources of the bounded field. He said he wanted to talk, so I followed him to the Mato house.
シンジって本当にあのシンジ？
What? Shinji? You mean the Shinji? Yeah, Raita was obeying Shinji and he knew about the Holy Grail War. Apparently the Mato family is a noble family of mages.
それはそうだけど、そんなはずないのよ。マトウの家は先代でもう枯渇しているはずだもの。何があろうと、マトウの子供に魔術回路はつかない。これは絶対よ。
Yes, that's true, but that's impossible. The Mato family should have completely diminished by now. No matter what they tried, no child of the Mato family could have magic circuits. Dosaka seems pretty sure of what she's saying. If she says so, then Shinji and Sakura really don't have any magic circuits. Yeah, Shinji said the same thing, but he said he still knows about magecraft. And that since he's the eldest male, that knowledge was passed down to him. So Sakura doesn't know anything. Anyway, that means he's a master similar to me. He doesn't have any magical energy, so you weren't able to detect him.
そう、まずったわね。確かにそういうケースだってあるか。魔導書が残っているんならマスターになるぐらいはできるだろうし。もう、それじゃあ私の行動ってあいつに筒抜けだったんだ。バカ。
I see. My mistake. I should have known there would be a case like him. As long as he had grimoires laying around, he could certainly become master. Ah! That means he saw right through everything I was doing. How could I be so careless? Tasuka's beating herself up for what she's done so far. She may be almost flawless, but it seems like she can be kind of ditzy too. The problem is, most of these gaffes turn out to be fatal.
私のミスだわ。シンジのことはしっかりマークしておくべきだった。知っていたら結界を張らせるなんてこともなかったのに。
I screwed up. I should have kept a closer eye on Shinji. Had I known, I wouldn't have let him construct that bounded field. Oh, about that. Shinji said he wasn't the one who set up the bounded field over the school. He said there's another master at school.
ええ、それはそうでしょうね。学校にはまだ一人、私たちの知らないマスターがいるのは明白よ。
Yes, I suppose that would be true. It's pretty obvious there's a master at school we are not aware of.
けどシロ、あなたまさか結界を張ってないっていうシンジの言葉を信じてるの？
Machiro, don't tell me you believed Shinji when he said he wasn't the one who set up the bounded field. No, I'm not that much of a sucker. As long as Shinji is in our school, I would give it a 50-50 chance that it's his doing. The other half is done by the other master.
半分ね。その時点で大したお人よしだと思うけど。
50-50, huh? If you think that's the ratio, you really are a sucker.
まあ、それはそれでいいわ。そういう余分なところがあなたの味だし。だからこそシンジは正体を明かしたんだろうしさ。
Well, whatever. Your optimism is what makes you who you are. And that's probably why Shinji thought it would be okay to reveal his identity to you.
まあいいわ。 れでシンジと何を話したのよ、あなた。
Anyway, what did you talk to Shinji about? He asked whether I wanted to team up with him. Shinji had no intention of fighting, and it sounded like he wanted to walk with someone, so long as he knew them.
シロ、あなたまさかシンジと。
Eh? Don't tell me you... No. You turn this kind of thing down normally, right? I already teamed up with you anyway. Even if I were to answer, I should first consult you too.
うん、それはそうだけど。でも断ったって言った？
Oh, right. That's true. But did you say you turned him down? Yeah, I know I said I would have consulted you about this, but I made my decision about Shinji on my own. There wasn't much to talk to you about anyway. Oh, but did I still do something rash?
別にシロの判断は正しいんじゃない？まあ、あんた個人にお呼びがかかったんなら、私が文句を言う筋合いでもないけどさ。
Not really. I think you made the right call. Besides, he was only asking you, so there's no room for me to butt in anyway. The way she's mumbling makes her seem, well, not quite herself. That was all I talked to Shinji about. I saw Ryder too, but it didn't seem like she was that powerful of a servant to me. She's definitely not like Berserker, and she didn't seem as intense as Lancer. Ryder seemed decent.
マスターがそう実感したのなら確かでしょう。ですが、サーバントの進化は手にした宝具に左右されます。ライダーが何者であるか判明するまでは油断はしないようにしろ。
If Master felt that way, then it's likely true. But a servant's true power is determined by their noble phantasm. Until we find out who Ryder truly is, please do not let your guard down around her, Shiro. Yeah, I have no clue which hero Ryder is. You know, Lancer and Berserker obviously look like heroes, but Ryder didn't quite have that same aura. I felt like she was different from typical servants.
普通のサーバントとは違うですか?
Different from typical servants, you say?
私にはわかりませんが、リンならシローの違和感が説明できますか?
I do not quite understand, but do you think you would be able to explain Shiro's discomfort, Rin?
ああ、うん。理屈だけならわかるわよ。
Oh, yeah. I guess I understand, at least logically.
サーバントがどんな英霊かは呼び出されたマスターに左右されるって話。結構似た者同士になるのよ、マスターとサーバントは。
You see, the master influences which heroic spirits is summoned as a servant. So because of that, master and servant tend to be similar.
つまり、高潔な人物がマスターなら、それに近い霊格をした英霊が召喚される。逆に言えば、心に深い傷を持った人間が英霊を呼び出せば、同じように傷を負った英霊が現れるわ。
For example, if the master is a noble person, they'll summon a heroic spirit of a similar disposition. On the other hand, a deeply scarred, traumatized person is likely to summon a servant with similar experiences.
シローがライダーに感じた違和感はそれでしょうね。
So that's probably why Shiro felt something off from Ryder.
いびつな心を持つマスターは、時として英雄ではなく、英霊に近いだけの怨霊を呼び出してしまうのよ。
A master with a twisted personality might summon a vengeful ghost close to a heroic spirit rather than a hero. A vengeful ghost close to a heroic spirit. Is this what you meant before?
ええ。血を見るのが大好き。人殺しなんて何とも思わないような暴虐者よ。
That's right. A tyrant who enjoys the sight of blood and does not think twice about killing.
実際、残忍さだけが伝承に残っている英雄だっているんだから。そういうやつがサーバントになってもおかしくはないわ。
There are plenty of heroes famous only for their brutality. So it wouldn't be a surprise for someone like that to become a servant as well. Is that true? Now that I think about it, I smelled the blood on Ryder. I didn't get the impression she was a bloodthirsty murderer. That's all I have on Ryder. There's one more thing, and this might be the most important point. According to Ryder, there's apparently a master in Ryudo Temple, Ryudoji. Someone is collecting magical energy from everyone in town. What do you think of that?
竜道寺
Ryudoji.
竜道寺ってあ
Ryudoji.
の山のてっぺんにある寺のこと？
Ryudoji? Are you talking about the temple at the top of the mountain? Yeah, that's the one. Do you know anything about it, Osaka?
まさかその逆よ。竜道寺なんて行ったことないもの。
Ryudoji. Actually, not at all. I've never been to Ryudoji.
どんなマスターか知らないけど、そんな偏僻なところに陣取ろうなんて思わないわよ、普通。
I don't know what kind of master would be up there, but a normal one wouldn't think to set up camp in a desolate place like that. Yeah, I was pretty surprised when I heard there was a master at Ryudoji. Being there might not draw much attention, but there are a ton of monks living at the temple. He would definitely hear about it if they pulled something strange.
仮にそうだとしても、竜道寺って郊外のさらに郊外にあるんでしょ？
I don't buy it. Even if it were true, Ryudoji is way out in the sticks.
そこから深山と神と両方に手を伸ばすなんて大魔術っていうより魔力の無駄遣いよ。集めた魔力を使ってもそんな大規模な術は不可能だもの。
If they were to cast a net across Miyama and Shinto, it would be powerful magic but a waste of magical energy. Even if they collected magical energy from such a wide range, executing such a large-scale magecraft would be impossible. Tosaka thinks for a moment, looking troubled. I'm relying on her experience here, so I can't interrupt her.
いえ、シローの話は信憑性が高い。
Actually, Shiro's story is plausible.
あの寺院を抑えたのなら、その程度の魔術は自然に行えるのですから。
If that master is able to take a hold of the temple, they would likely be able to execute magecraft of that caliber effortlessly. Huh? Do you know about Ryudoji, Saber? I haven't taken you there yet.
忘れたのですか、シロー。私は前回も聖杯戦争に参加しています。この町のことは熟知していますし、あの寺院が落ちた霊脈ということも知っています。
Have you forgotten, Shiro? I participated in the previous Holy Grail War. I know this town very well, and I know about the ley line that formed at their temple.
落ちた霊脈？ちょっと待って、それってうちのことよ。なんだって一つの土地に地脈の中心点が2つもあるっていうのよ。
A ley line? Hold on. That's what's at my house. How would there be two ley line centers in one area?
それは私にもわかりませんが、とにかくあの寺は魔術師にとって神殿とも言える土地です。
I do not know why, but their temple is like a sanctuary for mages.
この地域の名脈が流れ落ちる場所と聞きますから、魂を集めるには絶好の拠点となるでしょう。魔術師は自然の流れに手を加えるだけで町中から生命力を回収できる。
I hear all lifelines in this area flow towards the temple, so it is the perfect point to collect souls. A mage would simply have to tap into its natural flow to collect life force from the whole town.
そんな話初めて聞いたわ。
That's the first I've heard of it.
けど確かにそれなら町の人間から生命力をかすめ取っていくこともできるわよね。
But if it's true, it would certainly be possible for someone to steal life force from the entire city. So that area is spiritually powerful, right? That's just obvious. Otherwise, people wouldn't have built a temple up there in the first place.
そんなの当たり前じゃない。言われなくても分かってるわよ。
Of course, you don't have to tell me that. I figured as much. Temples and shrines have traditionally been built where there are gods. To protect the town, monks don't pray to the gods and Buddha to offer people blessings. Instead, their job is to seal up any areas that people believe are unlucky, the ward of calamity. So based on that, it's no surprise that the mountain where Ryudoji is located is a special place. Hey, don't tell me you thought Ryudoji was just there for show.
そうよ、悪い？今まであるだけの寺だと思ってたわよ。あの寺には実践派の砲術師がいないんだから。
What's wrong with that? I just thought it was just some temple because there aren't any practicing thaumaturgies. Practicing thaumaturgies? What's that?
度胸や心身、祈願以外で霊を成仏させる連中のこと。
There are people who help spirits go to heaven by means other than sutra, readings, worship, or prayer.
各社は神仏の力だけでことをなすそうだけど、修行が浅い僧侶は神仏に届かないから、私たちみたいに自身の力を上乗せして術をなすの。
An enlightened person can pull it off just through Shinto and Buddhist rites, but monks who aren't as experienced aren't able to reach that level, so they add their own powers to cast spells just like us.
そういう連中が集まって組織みたいになってるのがあるのよ、この国には。私たちとは相入れない連中だから詳しくは知らないけどさ。
There's an organization for those people here in this country. I don't know much about them though, since they're nothing like the Mages Association.
そんなことより寺のことよ。
But more importantly, we should focus on the
あの
temple.
寺が霊脈だとしたら、まず真っ先に抑えようとするのがマスターでしょ。おかしいじゃない。なんで他の連中はそんな場所を見逃しているのよ。
If that temple is built on a ley line, masters would jump at a chance to seize it, at their earliest opportunity. So why would other masters overlook it? Because the Ryudoji is there. It's under surveillance, so it wouldn't be abused.
竜道寺の僧侶はみんな純粋な修行僧じゃない。
All the monks at Ryudoji are real priests in training.
私たちみたいに外れた連中じゃないんだから、そんな人たちを丸め込むぐらいマスターなら造作もないわ。
They're not outliers like us, so it'd be easy for a master to cohole people like them.
いいえりん、それは違う。確かにマスターならば、あの寺院を制圧するのはたやすいでしょう。しかし、あの山にはマスターにとって都合の悪い結界が張られているのです。
No, that is incorrect, Rin. It would indeed be easy for a master to gain control of their temple, but the mountain is surrounded by a bounded field, which proves problematic for masters.
私たちに都合の悪い結界？
Huh? A bounded field that would be trouble for us.
はい。あの山には自然霊以外を排除しようとする法術が働いている。生身の人間に影響はありませんが、私たちサーバントには文字通り鬼門なのです。
Yes, some sort of thaumaturgy is at work which removes everything other than natural spirits from that mountain. It does not affect humans, but servants are quite vulnerable to it.
自然霊以外を排除する。それじゃあ、サーバントはあの山には入れないってこと？
It gets rid of everything other than natural spirits. Does that mean servants can't set foot on that mountain? No, už ztrácím framey, oh ne. Proč? Internete, login.
入れないことはありませんが、能力は低下するでしょう。
It is not impossible, but our abilities will likely be considerably weakened.
足を踏み入れるたびに近づいてはならないという令状を受けるようなものですから。
It is like receiving a command spell order not to enter that place.
それじゃあ、どうやって竜道寺のマスターはサーバントを維持しているのよ。
Then how is the master at Ryudoji able to maintain their servant up there?
いえ、寺院の中に入ってしまえば結界はありません。
In fact, the temple itself is not under the bounded field.
元より結界とは寺院を守る境界線と聞きます。結界は外来者を拒むだけのものですから、それ以上の能力はありません。
I also hear that it works like a boundary which protects the temple. A bounded field just repels anything approaching from outside. There's no other function.
じゃあ、なんとか中に入ってしまえば、サーバントを律する法術はないってこと？
So once you're inside, there's no thaumaturgy that controls servants.
けどおかしいな。そんな風に寺院を密閉させたら地脈そのものが止まるじゃない。せめて一本ぐらい道を開けておかないと地脈の中心点にはなり得ないんじゃない？
But that's weird. Enclosing the temple like that would cut off the ley line. There should at least be one pathway in, or it wouldn't be a central point.
はい。寺院の道理で言えば、正しい門から来訪した者は拒めません。その教えに従っているのか、寺に続く参道にだけは結界が張れないと聞きました。
That's is right. This is spelling mistake. That is right. If you think in terms of the temple, it cannot refuse visitors approaching by the way of its main entrance. Following this logic, it is my understanding that the main road leading to the temple does not have bounded field cast over it. あの寺院は正門のみ。私たちサーバントを律する力が働いていないのです。The main gate is the only place that does not have the power to command servants like us.
なるほど。そりゃそうよね。すべての門を閉じたら中の空気がよどむもの。ただ一つだけ作られた正門か。
I see. I guess that's logical. If all the gates were completely closed off, the air inside would grow stagnant. So there's one main gate.
私が教えられることはそれだけです。
That is all I can tell you.
では結論を。マスターがいると判明したのですから、取るべき手段は一つだけだと思いますが。
So please draw your own conclusions. If you have determined there is a master present, then there is only one thing to do. I know what Saber wants to say. Her eyes are telling me that since we know the enemy's location, we just need to attack. But I'm going to pass.
どうにもわなくさいし、正直それだけの情報じゃ動けないわ。相手のホームグラウンドに行くんなら、せめてどんなサーバントを連れているのか判明するまで待つべきよ。
It feels like a trap, and honestly, I don't want to make a move based only on the information we have now. If we are going into enemy's own base, we should wait until we know what sort of servant they have.
意外ですね。リンならば戦いに赴くと思ったのですが。
That is unexpected. I thought you would be the first to suggest fighting.
侮ってもらって結構よ。こっちはアーチャーがまだ本調子じゃないし。
Jak dlouho se bude Archer healovat? Insult me if you want. Archer's not back to his full strength, so I'm going to remain a spectator for now.
わかりました。それではシロ、私たちだけで寺院に赴きましょう。
Understood. Then Shiro, let us head over to the temple by ourselves. ... Saber is matter of fact about it. But Tady to povede k špatnému konci. Ne ta věc Rider. Ok, ukaž mi flowchart. Jo, jedna z těch set. Já myslím, že když půjdeme fightit, tak cvípneme, protože tam jsou tam dva servanti. Víš co, jo, půjdeme tou cestou. Já myslím, že jo. I'll go on the offensive. There's a master at Ryudoji, and I need to stop them from sucking up magical energy from everyone in town as soon as possible. I agree with Saber. I'm not thrilled to be the one making the move here, but it depends on the opponent too. If we want to find out what sort of master we are dealing with, we should go to Ryudoji as soon as possible.
では出陣ですね、シロ。あなたが積極的になってくれたのは喜ばしい。
Then it is time to head out, Chiro. I'm very glad to see you be so proactive.
そう。あなたがそう決めたのなら、私に言うことはないけど、せいぜい気をつけることね。
Fine. There's nothing I can do or say since you've already decided. But just be careful. どうしたか？
先に休むわ。私、賞賛のない戦いに興味はないから。明日になってあなたが帰ってこなかったら、協力者のよしみで骨ぐらい。
Jo, to je definitivně špatná routa. I'm going to rest. I have no interest in a battle I can't win. If you aren't back tomorrow, I'll at least go collect your remains in the spirit of our alliance. What the hell? Why would she say something so ominous?
今のはリンなりの忠告でしょう。
That is likely Rin's way of warning us.
誘導時には外敵への備えがあるはずです。私たちは敵の罠をくぐり抜け、上司たるマスターを倒さねばならないのですから。
We are certain to face the fences meant to ward off intruders into Ryudoji. We will need to pass through the enemy traps and beat the master, the lord of this stronghold. Well, you're right, but I'm not so enthusiastic and confident that I think I'm going to go in there and beat the master. I just want to learn their identity and motives. If all goes well, we might be able to avoid battle, and if things get hairy, we can retreat. I won't ever let her suffer or look so pained again. We'll just have to retreat right away if it starts to look so too dangerous. The clouds zip by overhead. Must be a strong wind up there. Master, it is almost midnight. Yeah, the town's gone to sleep, so it's a good time to head out. I nod as I grab my shinai bag. Inside, I've bagged a bamboo sword I found in the shed. It's not the greatest weapon for going up against a servant, but as long as my strengthening magecraft works, I should be able to survive at least one attack. Saber, we are only going to Ryudoji, just to check things out. We are going to see who the master is and what class their servant is. We are not here to start a fight.
わかりました。ですが敵が戦いを望み、四郎の身に危険が及ぶと判断したときは、その限りではありません。
Understood. But if the enemy desires a fight, or if I determine you are in danger, I will not hold back.
敵地に赴く以上、どちらかの死は覚悟してほしい。
As long as we are heading into enemy territory, please prepare yourself for the possibility of death. The possibility of death. The scales of fate weigh on one end the master of Ryudoji, and on the other, us, the intruders. The scales are balanced right now, but they may tip one way or the another tonight. We head west from the intersection and hurry along the empty road. Ryudoji is located at the end of the gently sloping mountain path opposite the more developed Shinto. There's a long set of stairs. The road that leads up to one of the tallest mountains in Fuyuki is all but swallowed up in the ominous darkness. Saber, do you sense any servants around?
正確には把握できませんが、確かにサーバントの気配がします。
Yes, I cannot be certain of anything specific, but I can definitely sense a servant. Saber's detection abilities seem to be weakened, probably by the bounded field set up over Ryudoji.
良くない風です。シロ、片時も私のそばを離れないように。
It is an ill-favored wind tonight. Shiro, do not leave my side. Even for a moment. I just nod in answer, then start up the stone stairs. The air feels tense. Shrouded in the dark of night, the forest echoes with soft rustling sounds. With every step I take, worry gnaws at my stomach. The temple gate finally comes into view. Nothing's happened so far. There's no sign of the enemy, and the temple gates are wide open, as if inviting us inside. Ty vole. To mě actually jumpscarenul, ten ty vole Saber. Ty mě skoro zabilo. Shiro, stop. Huh? Isn't an enemy, Saber?
はい。ですがサーバントではありません。気配が微弱すぎる。おそらく監視役の使い魔でしょう。
Yes.
無視しても構わないのですが、しかし。
Yes, but it is not a servant. Their presence is too weak. It is likely a familiar tasked to surveillance. We can ignore it, but... There must be something about that surveillance familiar that makes her hesitate. Saber frowns, then glares at the temple gates just a few steps ahead of us. Saber? Is something bothering you?
わかりません。この王冠が監視の使い魔のものなのか、この山門を守る者の気配なのか。
I do not know. I cannot tell if I'm feeling this chill because of the familiar, or if it is whatever is protecting this temple gate.
門番らしき者はいたようなのですが、今は不在のようです。
There seems to be a gatekeeper of some sort, but they appear to be absent at the moment.
認めたくはないのですが、私はそれを幸運と思っている。この門を守る者と対峙しなくてよかったと。
I don't want to admit it, but it seems we are lucky. That I'm fortunate not to have to confront whoever is protecting the gate. So there's a gatekeeper, but they're not here right now.
はい。私たちがやってきたことはすでに知られています。
Yes, they already know we are here.
その上で門番を下げた意味は2つ。白はどちらだと思いますか？
There could be only two reasons the gatekeeper has been pulled back. Do you know what those reasons might be, Shiro? The gatekeeper was either pulled back to hide from us, or they're going to let us through the gates, but don't intend to let us leave. Either way, we're not going to accomplish anything unless we get inside. It's a trap, Saber. Can you tell what's going on in there?
いいえ、サーバントの気配がするという情報しかつかめない。
No. All I can say is that I can sense the presence of a servant. Got it. I guess we won't be learning anything unless we go inside. Saber nods. Let's go. Whatever they do to us, we're not getting anything out of this trip until we see our opponents' faces. Saber and I approach the temple gate. For a brief moment, the clouds drift across the moon, swallowing up its light. Our vision falls into darkness. Eh? In the darkness, I thought I saw a beautiful snake. I stopped Saber, who's trying to walk through the temple gate.
白。
Shiro. Her golden hair whips around, but suddenly.
強制転移。バカな。この時代において転移魔術だと。そうか、キャスター。
Forced transportation? But that's impossible. There's no such thing as transfer as magecraft in this age. Ah, but caster. Saber's figure distorts. What kind of magecraft is this? Saber becomes distorted like a mirage and... This is bad! Pull back, Saber! Your body's fading!
違います、シロ。転移を受けているのはあなたの方だ。早く私の手を。
No, Shiro. You're the one who is being transported. Hurry, take my hand. Transport? Like teleportation?
シロ、手を伸ばして。そのままでは中に引き込まれ。
Shiro, reach out. You're being pulled. Saber kicks the ground and grabs hold of my hand. Hold of my arm, but then... The dark figure of a servant cuts in from the side.
不覚を取りましたね、セイバー。魔術に対する強力なレジストがあだになった。
You let your guard down, Saber. Your resistance to magecraft has backfired.
あなたがそこまで強力でなければ、彼を守りきれたもの。
Chci vidět, jestli můj dead voice pro Rider, jestli to pickupuje můj mikrofon, takže se nebojte. Kurva. Co říkala? Počkej. If you weren't so powerful. OK, v pohodě, bude to asi trošku tiší. A internet padá, let's go. If you weren't so powerful, you would have been able to protect him.
貴様、サーバント。
Oh, you are a servant. Black and silver figures clash. Saber versus Rider. Ale proč je tady Rider? The two confront one another at the top of the store steps. What? Saber! Saber! I feel myself pulled through dimensions, twisted out of mine and through others, then deposited back into reality. My blood flows backward. For a moment, my organs flip inside out, and I'm overwhelmed by nausea.
竜を釣ろうと思ったのに、網にかかったのは雑魚だけなんて。
I meant to hook a dragon. I seem to have caught something much smaller in my net. What? I turn around to face whatever is behind me. I don't have time to figure out who it is. I swing the wooden sword behind me, not even taking it out of the shinai bag. Aira. I'm blown away. Something strikes the side of my chest and my body sinks into a watery surface. Yep, jsme mrtví. What? The liquid turns red. My body. The whole right side of my chest is gone.
バカな子。そんな紙くずみたいな魔術抵抗で私の神殿にやってくるなんて。セイバーもマスターに恵まれなかったよね。
What a stupid boy. You walked into my temple equipped with barely anything in the way of magic resistance. It appears Saber was not blessed with a proper master. ... The purple-robed figure snickers. I'm dizzy. I need to get up and take Saber's hand, but I'm shaky in my body.
セイバーが気になる？安心なさい。彼女は私がもらってあげる。バーサーカーを倒すには彼女の宝具が必要ですからね。あなたはここで死に絶えるけれど、彼女は私の奴隷として生き続けるわ。
Worried about Saber? Don't. I'll take Saber. I need her noble phantasm to defeat Berserker. You'll die here and now, but she will live on as my slave. I don't have any strength in me. My fingers, they're cold as ice. My consciousness fades into darkness and mud.
さようなら坊や。そんな低能では奴隷にする価値もないけど、あなたの霊樹は私が有効に使ってあげる。
Goodbye, boy. You're not even worth keeping as a slave. Weak as you are, but I will take your command spells and use them far better than you ever would have. A crooked blade glints in the darkness and begins cutting out my command spells. I'm in black, murky water. The only thing my motionless eyes see is the clouds swallowing up the moon. Dead end. No. Yes. OK. Tady jsme explornuli jednu dead routu. You imbecile. Fuck you. Ale proč tam zaútočila Saber? Saber. Proč tam zaútočila Rider? To by mě zajímalo. Divné, okay. Don't fight. No. I agree with Osaka. We shouldn't be going there yet. What? Are you saying you will not fight either? That is ridiculous. What's the point of me in me resting then? We must strike first, especially now that we know where our enemy is. I know that, but we need to wait, Saber. If the master Ryudoji is so thoroughly prepared, they'll have set a trap for us. Rushing in without a plan is suicide. Tosaka's right, we should at least wait until Arch is recovered.
そのような危険は当然です。初めから無傷で勝利を得ようなどと思ってはいません。
These are the risks we must always face. I do not expect victory without injury or setback.
敵の罠が体を貫こうと、この首を渡さなければ戦える。
Even if the enemy's traps pierce my body, I can fight on so long. I can fight on so long as I have my head.
どのような深手を負おうと、マスターさえ倒せればいいのではないのですか。
No matter how badly injured I am, it is worth the risk if we can defeat its master, is it not? Well, don't be such a fool. Who would ever say it's okay to get hurt? It's fine going in knowing the risks, but a suicidal mission is stupid. As your master, I can't let you do something so dangerous. Though going over to Ryudoji would be suicide, no question. The lone road leading up to the temple is sure to be packed with traps or obstacles, maybe both. It's one thing to go in expecting the dangers, but doing it without a plan to deal with them is suicidal. No matter how powerful Saber is, she's still held back by my weakness. I would hate for her to push herself to fight and end up... If it ends up like it did last time, I can't agree to such charge in... I can't agree to just charge in blindly.
何を言うかと思えば。
I did not think to hear you say such a thing again.
いいですか、マスター。サーバントは傷を負うものです。
Listen, Master. Servants are meant to get hurt.
それを恐れて戦いを避けるなど、私のマスターには許しません。
I will not allow my master to avoid battles simply for fear of that eventuality. Fine. It doesn't matter if you don't allow it. If you're going to keep being so reckless, I'll stop you as many times as I have to. If you don't like that, then hurry up and heal yourself. You're still not fully healed, are you?
戦闘に支障はありません。傷を理由に戦いを先延ばしにするなどと、そのような気遣いは不要です。
Not so much that it should interfere with my ability to fight. Delaying combat because you are concerned about a wound is pointless. Saber just won't change her mind about fighting. Grr. Why doesn't she understand no matter what I say? Yeah? Well, I'm not budging. You lost to Berserker before. Are you going to push through and keep on fighting so we can both be defeated again? You've gotta be kidding me. I don't want to get killed all over again. And then I expect Saber to argue. Instead, she just draws in a breath and...
それを言うのは卑怯ではないですか、シロ。
That was cruel, Shiro. Her tone is apologetic. I'm sorry to be unfair, but I'm still not willing to attack yet. I know I can't let the master of Ryudoji do as they please, but we are in no condition to fight. If we rush in now and are defeated, then who will stop the master at Ryudoji? Listen, we are going to attack, but only after your wound is healed, and we are in peak condition. If you have a problem with that, go find another master.
わかりました。マスターがそういうのでしたら。
Understood. If master insists. Okay, internet lehce padá, ale je to zvladatelný. Saber's voice is quiet as she answers, and then she falls silent. Our conversation ends there. Tosaka and Saber go back to their rooms. I'm left alone in the living room and find myself starting to regret what I did. Well, it's too late. I could have said it differently. So, why did I have to say it the way I did? Why was I only able to convince her with words that cut her so deep? Interlude? It's a quiet, windless night. It's past midnight. Darkness blankets the sky. The town itself is like a dark sea, illuminated only by moonlight. Overhead, the clouds move across the sky. At the ground level, there's not a breath of wind. Higher up, the air must be roaring as the clouds swim by. There is at least some wind. Maybe she hears the inaudible wind. She mutters quietly as she looks up into the windy sky. The young girl known as Saber stands quietly in the middle of the yard, glaring up at the sky. Her golden hair is beautiful, even in the dark of night. Her clear green eyes remain on the moon as it flickers in and out of view. She glances toward the corner of the yard once. There's an old shed. Her lord sleeps there. Tohle si pamatuju za ním, ona šla vlastně sama. If you say you will not fight, fine. There's a heavy clang. The sound of iron melts into the darkness without reaching anyone's ears. The moon hides and then reveals itself once again. As the clouds above float past, the girl's appearance changes radically. Solid heavy armor. She can no longer be called a girl in her blue raiment. Now she is shrouded in steely armor, woven of magical energy, intense enough that it would overwhelm all others. In her hand, she holds an invisible sword concealed by the same magical energy that surpasses human understanding. The figure, once considered undefeatable in the battlefield, proves that someone like her still exists in this day and age. Though her sword is invisible, the majestic air she exudes proves her exceptional skill as a swordsman. Here's what has made her Saber, the hero of the sword, said to be the strongest of all 7 servants, a knight among knights who remains ever civil and acts according to her lord's will. Whatever the other heroic spirits may be like, she remains the ideal swordsman who would never defy her lord. But that ends tonight. She is here, defying her lord's orders. Rather, she is not truly disobeying her lord. This is her way of bringing her lord victory, the result of her own determination. He is too naive. If he continues on this path, it will lead only to death at another master's hands. But this master will never change his ways. Then it must be her duty to be heartless. Dr. Heartless? If her master will not fight, then his sword must. My wounds have not healed. I cannot expect a supply of magical energy from Master. That still poses no hindrance in battle. After confirming her own abilities, she returns her gaze to the moon. She has no concern for the shed where her lord sleeps any longer. Now that she is armed and wearing her armor, the only thing on her mind is defeating her enemies. The moon darkens. The moment a large cloud covers the sky, Saber jumps over the walls of the mansion grounds. She runs through the darkness. The silvery swordsman rushes through the sleeping town. She has but one destination, Ryudoji, sitting at the heart of the sacred mountain on the town's outskirts. Even Saber understands how difficult it will be to single-handedly defeat the master lurking in the temple. Shiro is correct. She is bound to suffer great injury, or at worst, die herself. But how can she call herself a servant if she cannot do the impossible? Servants are driven by their superior abilities and unassailable pride. They are proud as heroes and have earned that confidence in the numerous battles they fought. As heroic spirits whose lore has been passed down and respected since ancient times, they cannot lose no matter who they face. She cannot even imagine defeat. She is no exception. However, much of her innocence may still be left to her. Being granted the title of Saber is all the more reason she cannot ignore that pride. And that pride will not allow her to just sit by and do nothing when she can face her enemy. And so she must brave any traps that may await her and face her enemy, even if she is alone. If she has no chance of winning, then she must simply use her sword to create one. Her sword is celebrated blade that countless enemies down. As long as she has invisible air, there is nothing for her to fear. She runs through the mountain pass and up the road leading to the temple. After she cuts through the mountain pass, an imposing stone staircase awaits her. This is certainly... It is certainly different than the Ryudoji she remembers. The air is stagnant. The wind is barren. The land's lifeline was contaminated long ago. This place is a land of death. The moment one enters, there can be no escape. ... She does not hesitate. Saber doesn't so much as break stride as she runs up the steps. Scenery flies by. Her footsteps echo on the stone stairs and the mountain begins to stir. The stairs are long, stretching across a great distance. The temple gates are far even for Saber, who shoots up the stairs like an arrow. So long are the stairs that it is impossible for one to pass through the gate undetected. An ambush surely awaits along the way. Reaching the gate will not be easy. Whatever schemes may await her, she must simply smash through them and keep moving. Nothing will stop her. Even were Berserker to appear before her, she would break through. Such is her determination, her confidence. She's reached the top. Just as she is about to reach the temple gates, the obstacle presents itself. No! Saber stops. Despite her determination to push through no matter what enemy she faces, she is surprised by what she finds. It appears so naturally, like a breeze. The man appears before her, lacking any trace of enmity, but leaves not a single opening for an attack. You. Saber stops and readies her invisible sword. The man before her, backlit by the moon, ignores Saber's menacing glare as if it were nothing to him. Samurai? She has heard about them, but she is bewildered by the sight of one. This is her second Holy Grail war. Even though she has seen many other heroic spirits, this is her first time seeing a servant like him. ... Sweat beds on Saber's brow. She isn't afraid. Rather, she is struggling to comprehend the situation. It is not as if she has never encountered strange servants. Suddenly, there was no stranger and more mysterious servant than the archer of the previous war. By comparison, the servant before her is hardly frightening and possesses no incredible weaponry. And that is exactly what makes it strange. She senses nothing from the man. There is no doubt he is a servant, but he seems to possess neither a noble phantasm nor magical energy. He should be an easy foe. Their fight should end in a single blow, but her instincts give her one very simple warning. Don't underestimate him. This servant has a means of inflicting instant death. She can't get closer. His katana is unconventionally long for a Japanese sword, making it hard to gauge spacing. But more than that, Saber's position puts her at a huge disadvantage. The man stands at the top of the stairs and Saber stands below him. He's about 5 meters from her. His sword will reach her before she can rush him. But then she feels nothing from his sword. Repelling it should be easy. She should not be afraid to step in, but Saber senses somehow that she should not. Saber adjusts her grip on her sword and glares at the enemy ahead of her. She may not know his identity, but she should at least be able to determine his class. I ask you, what servant are you? Saber doesn't expect an answer. After a brief smile, jaký voice dáme Sasakimu? Servant, assassin, Sasaki Kojiro. The servant's reply is given in a sing-song voice. What? Saber cannot help but be surprised. Servants generally conceal their identities. What sort of servant would so bluntly and proudly give his name? You? Why? Why? What a boorish question. It is only polite to introduce myself before a duel. All the more so against an opponent so beautiful as you. How odd, then, that you should react as you have. The man who introduced himself as Sasaki Kojiro, the assassin, appears to enjoy Saber's confusion. There is no way Saber knows. She has no idea this servant is a swordsman who wields a long sword called Monohoshizao. Monohoshizao, okay. And was rumored to have been an unrivaled swordsman during the Keicho era in Japan. Knowing, of course, would change nothing. The man's origin is unknown, and even his existence is uncertain. His story was told only by word of mouth, and there's perhaps only one person in the world who knows the true identity of the man who was hailed as the greatest swordsman in the world, the man who never left a mark in history, but was Sasaki Kojiro's arch enemy and the only one to have ever defeated him. Musashi se jmenoval, že jo? Ten druhý nejlepší swordsman. Že to byl Musashi. So how can this man be called a hero? The assassin Sasaki Kojiro is a presence far removed from Saber herself, who among heroic spirits could know the abilities of a swordsman who could not himself normally be a heroic spirit. However, two things are clear for her. One is that the man before her is an enemy, and the other is that he has willingly identified himself. You are certainly correct. A knight's honor demands revealing oneself when addressed, and that one should return the gesture in kind. Fuck. Saber's voice is grave. Revealing her true name poses an immense risk. She cannot reveal her true name, even under torture, nor does she have any intention of doing so. However, this is only in the name of her pursuit of victory. For this same reason, she cannot tarnish her knight's honor. Kojiro, you said? Assassin, I am...
名乗れば名乗り返さねばならぬ相手であったか。
Say no more. I know you are the sort who must give your name in kind if I do so first.
いや、無粋な真似をしたのは私であった。
It was I who was boorish. The man descends the stairs gracefully. Assassin confronts Saber, taking slow steps down the
そのよ
stairs.
うなことで敵を知ろうとは思わぬ。我らにとって敵を知るにはこの刀だけで十分であろう。
I need not know my enemy in this way. If we are to battle, we shall speak with our blades.
違うか。
Am I wrong, Saber? Huh? What?
そう驚くこともあるまい。貴様の持つそれが何であるかは分からぬが、身にまとった殺気は剣士のもの。
This should be no surprise. I don't know what you are holding, but the murderous intent surrounding you most certainly belongs to a swordsman.
目がくらむほどの美しい剣気。その貴様がセイバー以外の何者であろうか。
That beautiful, dazzling aura of a swordsman. You can only be Saber. He takes a step closer. Assassin descends the stone steps and he points his sword at Saber.
神名など知らずともよい。ただ、セイバーというサーバントがこの刃に敗れるだけの話だ。
I do not care to know your true name. All that matters to me is that the servant known as Saber falls by my blade.
言葉で語るべきことなど皆無。もっとより、サーバントとはそういうものであろう。
There is nothing to discuss. Is that not what it is to be a servant in any case? The swordsman laughs joyfully.
なるほど。それは確かにその通りです。
I see. Yes, that is true. As Saber speaks, she readies her sword.
それでよい。
That's the spirit.
では、果たし合おうぞ、セイバー。
Then let us duel, Saber.
サーバント随一と言われるその剣に、しかと見せてもらわねばな。
I must see your swordsmanship, said to be the greatest of all servants. A silver light leaves, solid and soft. The battle between two very different swordsmen begins under the moonlight. Let's go. Interlude out. New weapon data was added. Woo! I'm so happy about this information. I wake up to a searing pain in my chest. It feels like I've just had a bad dream. But why does my chest hurt? My heart feels like it's burning. Actually, it feels more heat from outside has been forced into my body. From outside? I doubt myself briefly, but before I can think of what it might be, I find myself rushing outside. Saber, are you here? I open the sliding door to Saber's room. She's not here. Don't tell me she... No, there's no doubt. If she's not here, she went to Ryudoji on her own. That idiot! Why? She isn't healed, so why would she... I'm so angry my head is starting to hurt. I didn't tell her I wasn't going to fight. I just didn't want her to get hurt like that again. There's no point in fuming here. I need to hurry to Ryudoji. I can't let Saber fight alone. Well, I don't know what good I can do for her, but if I get there, maybe I can do something. Ah, she's a girl, why can't she just behave herself? I run. I don't even take the time to change. Out front, I grab a bike and pedal as fast as I can. I pedal down the hill without braking. It'll take at least 40 minutes to Ryudoji even if I rush. I don't know how long it's been since Saber left, but I need to get to her as fast as I can. Interlude, další. Fate. Full Metal Alchemist. The blades cross. The edges of both swords come into contact again and again. Stroke after stroke. Sword and katana alike spark as they strike and parry. Several dozen exchanges like this later, and neither opponent has changed position. Assassin, standing higher on the steps, holds his ground. Saber, who is trying to advance up the stone steps, can't get any closer to Assassin. Over time, she bleeds more and more energy. Ha! One of Saber's many attempts at rushing in, Assassin effortlessly swings his long blade. Fully 1.5 meters, and halts Saber's advance. No, he's not simply preventing an advance. If Saber's blade is lightning, Assassin's katana is a hurricane. Though Assassin may be no match for her in strength or speed, the flexible trajectory of his blade sweeps aside Saber's every attack. The ricocheting katana gains speed and flips back towards Saber's neck like a gust of wind. Even as Saber dodges the blow only by a hairbreadth, the long katana flicks back toward her, giving her not a moment's rest. In contrast to Saber's straight sword, Assassin's blade is curved. Assassin's cutting edge is graceful, but it also draws a long extended arc. He shouldn't be able to match Saber's sword as it moves in a straight line, but he somehow cancels out that difference. She suddenly stops. Her blade isn't moving fast enough to block Assassin's counterattack. She falls back a pace, knowing it's the only way she can avoid the incoming strike. Assassin's katana traces a fascinatingly beautiful arc, but at the same time, it is so fast that it's nearly impossible to follow. Is this seeming impossibility owed to Assassin's skill, or is it owed instead to Saber being at a disadvantageous position in their battle? Unable to reach a clear conclusion, Saber continues dodging Assassin strikes and turns aside the blade as it arcs towards her neck with her own weapon. The next thing she knows, she has retreated a few more steps down the stairs. That's the extent of his long katana's reach. It will be easy to rush up close to him once she sweeps his sword aside, but for some reason she just can't do it. It must be owed to the enemy's superb skills and her own position below him, which puts her at a disadvantage. Saber bites her lip, thinking she wouldn't have such a hard time against that long katana if they were on flat ground. This is certainly a problem. I had not expected fighting against an invisible blade would be so challenging. Assassin is unmoved. He is fighting purely to defend. He need not chase after a retreating Saber, nor does he have any reason to give up the advantage of higher ground. This must be the first time you have seen a katana, yes? My sword is quite wicked. An ordinary opponent would fall to but a single blow. You, on the other hand, have evaded it spectacularly. This pleases me, Saber. Additionally, your current technique is marvelous, Sunday. You are able to do so much with that small frame of yours. You must be impeccably trained. Assassin watches Saber, his posture relaxed, perhaps simply because he needn't go on the offensive. The tip of his blade wavers, losing strength, but Saber cannot seize the opportunity. The man is not holding a stance. A long katana like that can only be wielded as long as the wielder is able to swing the sword forward from any position.
どうした？これで終わりというわけではあるまい。その不可視の剣、見かけ倒しではなかろう。
Is something the matter? Surely you are not done. That invisible sword is not simply for show, is it?
いつまでも減らず口を。
Huh. You do not know when to stop talking. The sword and katana clash.
当たりだ。
Ah, I have you now. The long sword stops mid-swing. Assassin grins, glancing at his katana where it stopped the invisible sword, then parries again. While Saber catches the flash coming at her neck. Gah. Even Saber knows she's been able to block Assassin's unfamiliar sword work thanks to her invisible sword. The invisible sword can confuse the opponent's senses, both offensively and defensively. Assassin not following through on his attacks is proof of this. Not knowing how long Saber's sword is makes it too dangerous for Assassin to close in on her. If Assassin were to step in to attack Saber, he will do so when... Ha! When Saber tries to smash Assassin's forehead. That attack. Assassin dodges it completely as he takes just a step back.
よし、これで目測はついたな。刀身3尺余り、幅は4寸といったところか。形状は、セイバーの名の通り、典型的な西洋の剣だな。
Ah, I have a good idea of its length now. It's roughly 3 shaku, 90 centimeters long, and for a sun, 12 centimeters wide. Its shape, let's see, as befits your name, is that of a typical Western sword. Assassin may have spoken coldly, but his exceptional skill at appraising the blade is clear. Saber's strike had been so fast that even were her sword visible, it would have been almost impossible to see. And yet, not only has he managed to defend himself from an invisible blade, he's also figured out its size and shape.
信じられない。何の魔術も使わず、満足に打ち合ってもいないというのに、私の剣を測ったのですか、あなたは。
I cannot believe it. You have measured my sword without employing any magecraft or having a satisfying exchange with our blades.
ほう、驚いたか。だが、こんなものは大道芸であろうよ。邪剣使いゆえ、このような技ばかり上手くなる。
Surprised, however, this is but the trick of a mere street performer. In my opinion, as a wielder of a wicked sword, such tricks are the only things I get to practice.
なるほど。私の一撃をまともに受けず、ただ払うだけがあなたの戦いだった。邪剣使いとは、その逃げ腰から来た俗称ですか。
I see. Your strategy was to simply parry my strikes to avoid being wounded. I can see now why a coward like you would call himself a wicked swordsman.
いやいや、まともに打ち合わぬ無礼は許せ。
Haha. Well, you must forgive me for not properly trading blows with you.
何しろこの長刀だ。打ち合えば折れるは必定。お主としては力勝負こそが基本なのだろうが、こちらはそうはいかぬ。その剣と組み合い、力を競い合うことはできん。
You see, I have this long katana. Were I to properly lock blades with you, it would certainly break. You must be the sword to go all out, but I cannot. I'm unable to put my full might into every strike with this katana. Dot, dot, dot.
もとより刀というものはそういうものだ。
So it has always been with the
西
katana.
洋の剣はその重さと力で物を叩き切る。
Western swords cut with sheer weight and
だ
power.
が我らの刀は速さと技で物を断ち切るのだ。
Our blades, however, rely upon speed and technique.
戦いが噛み合わぬのは道理であろう。
Do you now see how different our fighting styles are?
まあしかしこれではいささか興がそがれる。
Oh, some sleepy fuck, man. But then again, it would be disappointing to leave matters like this.
もう良い頃合いだぞ、セイバー。いい加減手の内を隠すのはやめにしろ。
Now, Saber, I believe the time has come to stop concealing your true power.
アサシン、私があなたに手加減しているとでも。
Assassin, do you believe I am taking it easy on you?
していないとでも言うのか。何のつもりかは知らんが、剣を鞘に収めたまま戦とは舐められたものだ。私程度では本気を出すまでもないということか。
Are you saying you are not? I do not know what your intentions are, but for you to fight with your sheath on is something insulting. Do you believe that I'm unworthy of being taken seriously as your opponent? ...
ほう。それでも応じないという顔だな。
Ah, you do not seem as though you intend to comply.
よかろう。ならばここまでだ。お前が出し惜しみをするのなら、先に我が秘剣をお見せしよう。
Very well. If you decline to reveal your own, then I shall show you my secret technique first. And with that, the swordsman with the long katana drifts down next to Saber. What? For an assassin to give up his advantageous position is as good as inviting defeat. He may be a superb swordsman, but it was the landscape of their battleground that gave him the advantage. If the two are to fight on level ground, Saber should have no trouble repelling Saber's assassin's attacks and taking his head then and there. Assassin should know this as well. So why?
構えよ。出なければ死ぬぞ、セイバー。
Brace yourself, or you will die, Saber. Saber instinctively reacts to the smoothness in his voice, for he is speaking the truth. Assassin descending the steps has not put her in an advantageous position. Her intuition, which has enabled her to triumph in so many battles, warns her of her mistake. She readies her invisible sword. There's no room to hesitate. What matters is that she has to attack with a sword before Assassin swings his long katana. Roughly 3 meters separate the two. His readies himself. The stance he takes now is one he has not taken in their battle so far. Secret technique. Saber charges. The long katana is meaningless now. The moment she draws near Assassin, the katana will become a liability to him. And yet... Swallow. Reversal. Such logic means little to a swordsman like him. Lightning strikes, faster even than Saber's blade. The demonic blow strikes down in a single straight line. But it's not as if Saber cannot block such an attack. She quickly raises a sword to defend, repelling Assassin's attack. I got you. Even an assassin will be left open after an attack like that is turned aside. In that split-second interval, a Saber attempts to cut through Assassin's stomach. Swiftly thrusting in her instincts, Saber rolls down the stone steps. She rolls away as if she's fleeing. She makes no effort even to soften her landing. All Saber does is frantically hurl herself down the stairs, slowing for nothing. Saber stops rolling and gets to her feet. Above her on the stairs, she sees the swordsman standing at his ease.
ほう、かわしたか我が被験。さすがはセイバー。ツバメなどとは格が違う。
You managed to evade my secret technique. I should expect no less, Saber. You are far and away the superior of a swallow.
信じられない。今のはまさか。
I cannot believe it. That was...
何？そう大した芸ではない。たまさかツバメを切ろうと思いつき、身についただけのものだからな。
Ah, it is nothing to be impressed by. It's something I thought up when I considered how to slay a swallow. He raises his long katana up high. The motion is done as if to mimic the demonic sword's motions he demonstrated earlier to intimidate Saber.
見えるか、セイバー。
Can you see this, Saber?
ツバメはな、風を受けて刀を避ける。早かろうが遅かろうが関係はない。どのような刀であろうと、大気を震わさずには触れぬであろう。
Swallow.
その震えを感じ取り、飛ぶ方向を変えるのだ。
Swallows avoid attacks by trying to catch the wind. Fast or slow, it does not matter. A sword always disturbs the atmosphere, no matter what sort it might be. Swallows feel their tremor and react by changing the direction in which they are flying.
故に、どのような一撃であれ、ツバメを立つことはできなかった。所詮刀など一本線に過ぎぬ。縦横に空を行くツバメを捉えられぬは道理よな。
And so, no attack can slay a swallow. A sword can only move along a single line. It cannot catch a swallow, which can fly through the air in all directions.
ならば、逃げ道を囲めばいいだけのこと。
So your only option is to deny them any path of escape.
一の太刀でツバメを襲い、風を読んで避けるツバメの逃げ道を続く二の太刀で取り囲む。
The first sword attacks the swallow, and the second sword surrounds the escaping swallow as it reads those movements.
しかし連中は素早くてな。この長刀ではまず二の太刀が間に合わん。ことを成したければ一息のうち、ほぼ同時に行わなければならなかったが、そのような真似は人の技ではない。
But they are fast. Long as this katana is, the second sword will surely not reach the swallow in time. If I hope to capture the swallow, I would need to strike with the second sword at the very same instant as the first. But such is well beyond human ability.
叶うことなどあるまいと承知したものだが、
I accepted the truth of this impossibility, however.
あいにくと他にやることもなかったのでな。
Unfortunately for you, I had nothing better to do with my time.
一年寄進に通じるというが、気がつけばこの通りよ。
They say determination is the key to success, and the next thing I knew, I had managed it.
ツバメを立つというくだらぬ思いつきは、複数の立ち筋で牢獄を作り上げる秘剣となった。
A simple, worthless idea, like killing a swallow, became a secret technique that created a prison by employing multiple simultaneous strikes of the sword. Saber cannot help but disagree with this matter-of-fact narrative. It is untrue. His technique is not as simple as he claims. Execute two attacks simultaneously. Impossible. The two blades struck at exactly the same time. In that moment, there existed two separate katana.
奇襲はゼルレッジ。何の魔術も使わず、ただ剣技だけで宝具の域に達したサーバント。
Ah. Kishur Zeldrich. a multi-dimensional retraction phenomenon. A servant whose skills reach the level of a noble phantasm without using magecraft, but by skill alone. It is most certainly to be admired. That single blow made it very clear. Sasaki Kojiro does not possess a noble phantasm as heroic spirits typically do. All he has is his magical sword and its sheer power, reaching the realm of the gods. What's astonishing is that this man is a mere human. What's astonishing is that this man, a mere human, has managed to stand on equal ground with heroic spirit who possesses a noble phantasm.
だが足場が悪かったな。ツバメ返しの奇跡は本来3つ。もうわずかに広ければ横の一撃も加えられたのだが。
But my footing was bad. My swallow reversal typically employs 3 slices. If I had more room, I could have added my horizontal slash.
そうでしょうね。そうでなければ不完全です。
I would assume so. Otherwise, the attack would be incomplete.
すべてが同時であるなら、ミノたちはどうしても遅くなる。それを補うために、横方向への離脱を阻む3の太刀があるはずだ。
If everything were to happen at the same time, the second sword's trajectory would naturally slow down. To compensate, there must be a third horizontal attack to prevent the opponent from escaping to the side.
いい飲み込みの速さだ。だからこそ我が被験をかわしたか。
Ah, a quick study indeed. No wonder you managed to evade my secret technique.
このような属性に呼び出された我が身を呪ったが、それも今宵まで。生前では叶わなかった立ち会い。我が被験を存分に振る舞える殺し合いができるのならば、呼び出された甲斐があるというもの。
How wonderful, Saber. I had so cursed my summoning to this material world, but that lament ends tonight. An opportunity to face an opponent that would have been impossible in my lifetime, and a chance to use my secret attack on them is enough to make this summoning well worth it. Assassin readies his sword again, and ascends the stone steps. He must be after Saber's head. Saber is not confident. Saber is not confident if she will be able to dodge that secret technique again. Like Lance's Gayborg, Assassin's swallow reversal is a technique that one cannot allow the wielder to use. Except, unlike Gayborg, against which one can defend once they understand what it is and know that it will strike at the heart. There is no defense against Assassin's secret technique. It cannot be evaded, even when one knows what it is. If there is a defense, it lies in preventing him from using the attack. The only way to defeat him is to deliver a devastating blow before Assassin can unleash his secret technique.
なるほど。確かに手加減など許される相手ではなかったようだ。
I see. I should not have taken it so easy on you. She lowers both her hands. Saber drops the tip of her invisible sword as if driving and glares up at Assassin as he approaches.
ほう、そうか。ようやくその気になったか、セイバー。
Oh, are you finally resolved to go all out, Saber? Assassin stops descending the steps and readies his secret technique once more. Saber looks at him bravely.
不満がないのはこちらも同じだ。
I too have no
我
complaints.
が一撃受け切れるか。アサシンのサーバント。
Will you be able to endure my attack, Assassin? Saber releases her own restraints. The air trembles, as if responding to her will. Her sword releases a torrential gust of wind. Assassin retreats several steps. The gale force winds released from Saber's sword are extraordinary. Even the fig trees on either side of the temple gates creak and groan. So strong is the wind, it all but explodes outward from her blade. The atmosphere sealed within is released and roars outward in all directions. Saber's sword releases a gust of wind that could easily carry off a human being. This is her blade's power. The invisible air is, as the name implies, a sword that has sealed up wind. The sword sheathed in compressed wind reflects and refracts light to give it the appearance of being invisible. This is what happens when the wind is released. The released air seeks escape and dissipates into the surroundings in a chaotic gusts. During that time, her sword's commanding magecraft allows her to freely manipulate the raging wind. A saber possesses an incredible amount of magical energy. She would be able to maintain the bounded field for a few minutes. The truth of this is made apparent by the fact that her sword, even after releasing so much energy, remains invisible. This is like a typhoon. However, the howling winds do not die down. The unleashed winds are about to engulf Assassin. This cannot be all of it. I shall see every skill you have concealed, Saber. Assassin closes in, despite the raging, blinding wind. Saber's arm moves. The wind-infused blade roars, readying itself to intercept Assassin, who advances slowly, in spite of the gale force winds, strong enough to prevent most people from even approaching. Interlude out. Tady bychom měli dorazit. Yep. What the hell is that? When I reach Ryudoji, I'm greeted by the sound of air rushing at me like a typhoon. That must be Saber over there. At the top of the stairs, in front of the table gates, I see an armored figure who must be Saber fighting someone wearing a kimono. The wind swirls around Saber, and the surrounding trees creak under the gale force intensity. Yeah, dobrý. Wait, damn! I don't think I can get close. The wind's so intense, I can't even keep my eyes open. Head down. I manage to fight my way closer to the stairs, but the wind only gets stronger. Can't. At this rate, I can't get close to Saber. Far ahead, I can see Saber fighting someone. I can't do anything. No. Even if I manage to get close to Saber in this wind, I'll only hold her back. My left hand hurts again. The command spells engraved on the back of my hand tingle. I don't know what that means, but every time my hand tingles, I can't help but to remember that scene. Damn it! Screw this! I close my eyes and stretch my hands toward the stairs. I get down on my hands and knees, hoping to avoid being drowned of my stupid silly wife. Huh? Kámo, já jsem teď kompletně zone outnul, co jsem to řekl? To si musím přehrát, to bylo insane. To bylo docela funny. I get down onto my hands and knees, hoping to avoid being blown off my feet, and begin crawling up the stairs. The wind intensifies. Even a novice mage like me can tell incredible amounts of magical energy are raging above me. My command spells tingle. The roar of the wind warns me something is happening up above. Wait, could this be Saber's magical energy? If it is, how would she do something so reckless in her state? No, Should she even be doing something like that? Saber can't recover magical energy. She shouldn't be wasting it like this. I need to step in and handle the fighting and have Saber support me instead. Or else she might run out of magical energy. I stand up and start running up the stairs. Now's not the time to be crawling. I don't know what Saber has in mind, but I have to stop her. Huh? As I try to dash to the temple gate, something like a dagger flies right past me. I don't know what miracle let me dodge it. Who's there? I turn to look away from the stairs into the trees. There's no doubt about it. I didn't notice it in the torrential wind, but there's someone hiding nearby. You coward! Quit hiding and come out! I shout for whoever is hiding in the tree line. The strong winds should have drowned my voice out. To my surprise, my voice echoes up the stairs. The wind died down. I look up towards the temple gate. There. I see a man in a kimono wielding a longsword and Saber's back.
そこまでにしておけ、セイバー。その被験、盗み見ようとする輩がいる。
That's enough, Saber. Someone's trying to steal a glance at your secret sword. The man in the kimono smiles as he speaks. Like me, he's staring out into the
このまま
forest.
続ければ、我らだけの勝負にはなるまい。
If we continue, neither of us will emerge
生き
victorious.
残った者に、そこに潜んだ恥知らずが襲いかかるか、それともお前の被験を盗み見るだけが目的なのか。
Whoever hides so cravenly in the trees may attack whoever survives our duel. Or they may simply be observing, hoping to learn about your hidden blade.
どちらにせよ、あまり気乗りのする話ではないな。
In either case, I do not care to involve myself. Dneska budu hrát tak do 11, 3hodinový stream, myslím, že zní docela dobře. The man turns to climb the stairs, seeming totally disinterested.
待て、決着をつけないつもりか、アサシン。
Stop! Do you not intend to settle our match, assassin?
お前がこの三門を越えるというのであらば、決着はつけよう。何者であれ、この門をくぐることは私が許さん。
Should you attempt to pass through the temple gates once again, we shall settle things. I will not allow any to pass this gate, no matter who they may be.
だが、あいにくと私の役目はそれだけでな。
That, unfortunately, is my only role.
帰るというのであらば止める気はない。まあ、そこに隠れているたわけは別だが、気に入らぬ相手であれば死んでも倒産し、生きても返さん。
If you plan on turning back, I have no intention of stopping you. That fool hiding in the trees, though, is another matter. Should I find myself disliking them, I will not allow them in, even dead. Nor will I let them leave alive. Assassin continues up the
踊ら
stairs.
されたな、セイバー。だが、もう一人の気配に気がつかなかった私も同じだ。あのままでおけば被験のすべてを味わえたであろうが、良いところで邪魔が入った。そうなって行幸であったか。
You were manipulated, Saber. But the same goes for me, as I did not notice whoever is lurking in the shadows. Had we continued, I could have shown you the power of my secret technique. But we were interrupted. You should consider yourself fortunate. Saber hangs her head in regret. Her intent to kill fades. Not because of Assassin's words, but because Saber must have realized that keeping up the fight would leave her at a disadvantage.
そら、迎えも来ている。そこにいる小僧はお前のマスターであろう。盗み見をするたわけが、その小僧に標的を変える前に立ち去るがいい。
Come now, your escort's here too. That boy over there must be your master. I suggest you leave this place before the fool spying on us decides to target him. And just like that, Assassin disappears. It must be his way of telling us that we won't attack unless we keep going. Saber says nothing. She just stands there silently, her back to me. Hey, Saber. Even when I call to her, she doesn't answer. Huh? It seems strange, so I begin climbing the steps. Oh? Saber's armor vanishes, defenseless, and in her simple blue clothing, she sways on the spot without turning around. Ah! I catch Saber in my arms as she falls backward, down the stairs. She doesn't move a muscle. She's unconscious, eyes shut in pain. We finally get home. It took me 2 hours to carry Saber back from Ryudoji. I was worried the whole return trip, but we managed to get back safely. I lay Saber down in the hallway. Saber was really light. She probably only weighs about 40 kilos, so it shouldn't have tired me out so much. Or it wouldn't have if she had been still. I had no idea that carrying a sleeping person, even a girl, could be so much work. My fatigue is more mental than physical. The feel of her soft skin when I picked her up, her quiet breathing on me, it was all so distracting. How she just faint like that. I look at Saber, and as she lays there sleeping. She's probably not completely unconscious, even if she looks like she's out cold. She might open her eyes the moment I call her name. Damn. There was so much I wanted to tell her when I left the house, but I can't say anything with her sleeping, looking like that. Fine, I'll give you an ear for after you wake up, Saber. Even now, I keep my voice to a whisper. The moment I reach out to pick her up again. Look, I don't care what you're into or what you plan on doing next. It's really not my business, but for some reason, Tosaka is in the hallway, watching, even though it's after 2 in the morning. Tosaka?
何よ、お化けでも見たような顔しちゃって。別に文句はないから続けていいわよ。私は水飲みに起きただけだし。
What? You look like you just saw a ghost. I'm not going to say anything, so you just go ahead and do whatever you were going to do. I just got up to get a glass of water. You've got it all wrong. This isn't what you think, really. I mean, it's a long story, but the short version is that I was just trying to take Saber back to her room. Are you even listening to me? Well, yes, sort of. You're lying. You sound like you don't understand it at all. I got it, okay? Saber went out to fight on her own, and you rushed off to stop her, right? Something bad happened, then you both came after Saber fainted, so did I nail it? Yeah, that's amazing. That's exactly what happened, but how did you know? How could I... How could I not? Saber was obviously going to go off on her own, and the master is immediately alerted to a servant entering battle. It wasn't hard to figure out. I see. I guess that's fine then. So Tosaka knew Saber would go out by herself. So what are you going to do? Aren't you going to take Saber to her room? If you let her sleep here, I'm sure even a servant would catch a cold. Well, yeah, that's why I was going to take her to her room. I tried to lift her up, but... it's kind of awkward with Tosaka watching. Tosaka, would you mind carrying Saber? Me? I mean, I guess. But would you make some tea then? I want to hear what happened. Dosaka picks Saber up. Her being so understanding has me a little worried. But since I asked her for a favor, I'd better go make some tea. Dosaka carries Saber off toward my room. Meanwhile, I work on preparing tea in the kitchen. She said tea, but I'm assuming she doesn't want green tea. But only black tea I have is from tea bags. Well, if I don't have it, I don't have it. I tell myself she can complain all she wants and start putting the hot water over the bag.
Shiro, ちょっといい?
Shiro, do you have a minute? Dosaka comes back. Yeah, hold on a minute, I'll be right there. I put 2 teacups on the tray and carry it out to the living room. And oh, sitting next to Dosaka, Saber in her normal clothes. Saber? Why? I thought you were asleep.
眠ってたわよ。けど、そういつまでも続く眠りじゃないし、ついさっき目が覚めたの。どうも、一気に膨大な魔力を使おうとして、体の方から一方的に機能を停止させられたみたいね。
She was.
電気のブレーカーと同じよ。そのままじゃショートするから、強制的に電源を切るってやつ。
She was. But it's not like she was going to sleep forever. She woke up. Looks like she used a ton of magical energy at once and just temporarily shut down. It's kind of like an electrical breaker tripping before it shorts out. Saber is quiet as Dosaka explains. You. Seeing her back to her usual self, all the frustrations I had earlier come rushing back. Saber, you have any idea what you tried to do?
わからないわけはない。私は竜道寺に赴き、アサシンのサーバントと戦いました。その折、私たちの戦いを監視していた第三のサーバントに気がつき、戦いを中断しましたが。
Of course I do. I made my way to Ryudoji and fought assassin. During our battle, we noticed the presence of a third servant observing us, and so suspended our battle. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I want to know why you went out and fought.
またそれですか。サーバントが戦うのは当然のことです。シロこそ、マスターであるあなたがなぜ私に戦うなというのです。
Are we to revisit this once again? A servant fights, it is what we do. What I would like to know is why you, my master, keep telling me not to fight. Well, Dad, I do understand there's no way around fighting, since I've decided to participate in the Holy Grail War. Fuck. Dat is hem echt heel. And I know me telling Saber not to fight is me contradicting myself. But even so, I don't want to see something like Dad happen to her ever again.
私の方こそ聞きたい。シロは戦いを嫌っているようですが、そんなことで聖杯戦争に生き残る気があるのかと。
I'd like to ask you instead. You seem to dislike combat. You truly expect to survive the Holy Grail War with that attitude.
あなたの方針に従っていては、他のマスターに倒されるだけではないのですか?
Do you not see that if we continue to follow this policy, we will only end up suffering defeat at the hands of other masters? It's not like that. I'll fight off anything that might pose a risk to us. I simply don't intend to just let myself be killed so easily. But aside from that, I just don't want Saber to fight. Wrong. It's not that I dislike fighting, I just, this is much simpler than that. You see... No, just say Eh? You see, girls shouldn't get hurt. I'm a guy, so I can't let that happen. So I'm going to fight rather than let you fight. What? Are you saying I cannot fight because I'm a woman?
私たちが傷つくのは当然であり、私たちはそのために呼び出されたものに過ぎない。
Are you out of your mind? A servant protects her master. We will be hurt in the doing, and are summoned for that precise purpose.
サーバントに性別など関係ないし、そもそも無人である私を女扱いするつもりですか？
One's sex has nothing to do with being a servant. More importantly, are you treating me as a warrior or as a woman?
今の言葉は訂正してください。シロ。
I insist you take back what you have said, Shiro. Please. Saber leans toward me, her eyes blazing with fury. But I won't let her change my mind. It's absurd for her to say she's a warrior before she's a woman. How could someone so frail, light enough for me to carry easily, go and behave so recklessly? No way in hell will I take back what I said. Sure, you might be strong, but you're still a girl. Don't get worked up over something so pointless, you fool.
つまらないことにこだわっているのはあなたではないですか？まさか女性に守護されるのが嫌だとでも言うつもりですか？好みはすでに英霊。そのようなさまつごとなど忘れなさい。
What? It is you who are getting worked up over something so pointless. Are you saying you refuse to let a woman protect you? I'm already a heroic spirit, so you must let go of such trivialities. Trivialities. It's not trivial at all. Even if you don't think it's important, I do. Besides, it was a mistake from the beginning to have someone else fight on my behalf. I can't allow someone to protect someone as helpless as me. I don't want someone to get hurt in my place. I'm the one who should be doing the saving. I've been working so hard to become the kind of person who can help people, just like my old man. Damn it. Listen, just don't fight, Saber. I'll do the fighting. You shouldn't have a problem with that, since it'll be the fighting you want, Saber.
無茶を言う人ですね、あなたは。人間がサーバントと戦えると思っているのですか？シローでは戦いにすらならないと実感しているでしょう。
What? It is absurd. Do you think a human can fight a servant? You should already understand that you are no match for a servant.
ランサーに襲われた時を思い出してください。
Please recall what happened when Lancer attacked you.
あの時、私が現れなければ間違いなくシローは殺されていた。それはどのようなサーバントが相手でも同じです。
Had I not appeared, you would have been killed. So it would be against any servant. You can't know that for sure unless we try. I just wasn't prepared. But now I can come up with tons of strategies. I might even be able to ambush one of them too.
少子な。シローの立てた守りなど、神も同然です。
Do not make me laugh. Any defense you employ would be no more useful than a sheaf of paper. Well, I can't believe you'd say that, Saber.
あなたこそサーバントを侮っている。人の身で英霊を打倒しようなどと、何を思い上がっているのですか？
You are insulting servants. How can you possibly be so conceited as to believe that you, a mere human, could defeat a heroic spirit? Saber and I glare at each other. Our conversation is going nowhere, and there is no sign of reaching any kind of compromise.
違うわ、セイバー。シローはサーバントを侮っているわけじゃない。そのあたりを誤解しちゃうと話が進まないから、口を挟ませてもらうけど。
You've got it wrong, Saber. Shiro isn't insulting servants. This isn't going anywhere as so long as you don't understand it much. So I'm stepping in.
リン、それはどういうことですか？
Rin? What do you mean by that?
要するにね、そいつ、純粋にあなたが傷を負うのを嫌がってるのよ。どうしてか知らないけど、シローは献身と善意の塊だもの。
Well, you see, Shiro genuinely doesn't want you to get hurt. I don't know why, but Shiro is just a giant ball of dedication and goodwill.
ね、自分のことよりセイバーの方が大切なんでしょ、あんたは。
Am I right? Saber is more important to you than yourself. right? That's not true. I never said Saber is important to me.
嘘嘘。そうでもなければ自分で戦うなんて言えないわ。
Spare me. You wouldn't be ready to fight yourself if that weren't true.
だってあなた、自分じゃサーバントに勝てないって分かってるんでしょ？それでも戦うっていうのは自分よりセーバーのが大事ってことじゃない。
You know damn well you can't beat a servant, right? But saying you'll fight even so means Saber is more important to you than yourself. Eh? I mean, if she puts it like that, maybe, but...
だから無茶でも戦う。勝てないって分かっていながら勝とうとする。その結果が自分の死でも構わない。
That's why you'll fight even if it sounds absurd. You'll try to win even if you know you don't have a chance. And you don't care if you die in the process.
なぜならあんたの中では、どうしてか知らないけど、自分より他人の方が大切だからよ。
Because, and I don't really know why, in that twisted little mind of yours, other people are more important than you are yourself. Well, I don't mean it to be like that.
そういうことよ。わかるでしょ、セイバー。あのバーサーカー相手にあなたをかばうようなバカなのよ、そいつ。だから本気で自分が戦うって言ってるの。
So there you have it. Now you understand, Saber. He's enough of an idiot that he would even try to protect you against Berserker. So, yeah, he's serious when he says he's going to fight. I don't know how much of Tosaka's words actually make it through to Saber, but Saber takes a deep breath and turns towards me. Shiro. What, Saber?
あなたが戦うことは認めます。ですが、それならば私にも考えがある。
I acknowledge that you have the will to fight, and as such, I have an idea. What is it?
剣の鍛錬です。シローの時間が許す限り、私はあなたに剣を教える。それを認めるのなら、私もシローの意見を認めますが。
You must train with the sword. I shall teach you as much swordsmanship as time permits. If you accept that condition, then I shall accept your way of thinking. What? Does that mean she's going to train me? Is this because she's acknowledged my will to fight?
待った。それは心の贅肉よ、セイバー。
Hold up, Saber. That whole line of thinking is pointless, like emotional flab.
シローに剣を教える？やめてよ。そんな気休めでサーバントに太刀打ちできるわけないじゃない。
Teach Shiro the weight of the sword? There's no way he'll be able to go up against a servant.
それは当然です。ですが知らないよりはマシでしょう。
True, but it is better than doing nothing.
少なくとも戦闘時の迷いは薄れます。
At the very least, it should minimize the hesitation he has in battle.
あとはシロー本人の決意にかけるだけですが、実践とは得てしてそういうものではないですか。向かないものには何を教えても身につくことなどありません。
I can only bet on Shiro's will and determination, but such is the nature of a real battle. One will never learn if they have no aptitude for it to begin with.
まあ、言われてみればそっか。
Well, I guess if you put it that way, you're right.
殴り合う覚悟ってのは一度殴り合ってみないと一生つかないものね。
You're never ready for a fist fight unless you've actually experienced one in the past.
はい。ですから一度。いえ、一度と言わず時間の許す限り、シローには戦闘の結果としての死を体験させ、戦いに慣れてもらわなければ。
Yes, that is why I would like to try once, nay, as many times as time allows. I would like Shiro to experience what death in battle feels like so he might grow accustomed to battle. The two of them are talking pretty casually about some scary stuff. Hold on a minute, I never agreed to any...
じゃあ、私は魔術講座にしとく。
Okay then, I'll teach him about magecraft.
セイバーが体を鍛えるんなら、私は知識を育てるわね。まあ、初めからそういう約束だったし。
Let's go.
明日から本格的に鍛え直してやりますか。
If Saber's going to train his body, I'll enrich his mind. Well, that was part of our initial plan anyway, so I guess I'll begin the formal training tomorrow.
お願いします。リンがそうしてくれるなら、私も剣のみに集中できる。
Yes, please do so. If you can do that, I can concentrate on training him with the sword.
いいっていいって。じゃあ、話も決まったことだし、解散しましょう。明日はいろいろと忙しそうだから。
The stream se drží krásně, doufám, že dnešní Elden Ring stream bude taky dobrý. Good, good. Now that's settled. Let's break for tonight. Looks like tomorrow's going to be busy. Osaka waves goodbye and disappears into the outbuilding.
私も休みます。シローも休憩を取ってください。明日は道場で汗を流してもらいますから。
I shall rest as well. You should do the same, Shiro. I intend to work you hard in the dojo tomorrow. She gives a short bow and goes back to her room. All that remains in the living room is the 2 cups of untouched tea and 1 dumbfounded boy. I never agreed to this. My words go unheard. Anyway, what's already a confusing situation has grown a hell of a lot more complicated. I can't even begin to imagine what will happen today. I'm going to sleep. I should at least save my energy. Everything starts with the body. Well, yeah. The only thing I can do is to cling onto my fragile hope that as long as my body is strong enough, I will be able to endure whatever torture they might throw at me. Další den. Už jsme v 7. dnu, ty vado, už jsme v půlce asi. No, tak 20 hodin na té hře. 6. února. Sword and Magic. I wouldn't want anyone to get sad if I can help it. If I just use my own limited powers to make the people around me happy, the world will be a better place. Kurwa. Oh. That was always Kiritsugu's favorite saying. The man who I saw as a champion of justice was saying he thought he was a failure, that he wasn't good enough. He didn't need to explain it to me. The worlds the young me and the grown-up Kiritsugu lived in were too different. And so the standards for being a hero of justice were different too. When I was young, this house was my entire world. So my old man, Fujine, myself and my favorite shed were the only things that needed protecting. All I thought I had to protect was what I could see around me. But Kiritsugu wanted to do something for those he couldn't see or reach. I was reckless when I was young. I built myself up by cursing the cruel world. The world was cruel, so I became cruel as a way to make my ideals a reality. There will always be those that can't be saved. You just can't save everything. If in the process of trying to save 1,000 you overlook 500, then I will abandon 100 to save 900. That is the most efficient way. That is the ideal, Kiritsugu once told me. Of course I got mad hearing that. It really ticked me off, because I didn't have to be told that since I knew that already. Because I knew firsthand that it was that very ideal that led to me being saved. I didn't need to be reminded about something so obvious, but I still believe that a hero of justice could save everyone, despite those limitations. Because that's what a hero of justice was. Someone who could still perform miracles, no matter how idealistic or unattainable they may have. Yeah. You're right, Shiro. No.
けどそれとは別にそうであろうとする心が
You're right, Shiro. Results are the most important thing, but apart from that, what's even more important is to have the heart. What did Kiritsugu say about the heart again? I don't remember. It's not often I reminisce about something from so long ago. I must be in deep sleep, otherwise I wouldn't be dreaming in the first place.
起きてください。そろそろ朝食ではないですか？
Shiro, wake up. It's almost time for breakfast. See? Saber is waking me up. That's pathetic. What? I bolt upright and out of my futon. It's 6:30 in the morning. Fresh sunlight bursts in from outside. Bursts.
朝です。朝食の支度はいいのですか？
Shiro, it is morning. Do you need to prepare breakfast? Saber is staring right at me. I overslept. Sorry, I'll get up right away.
私に謝る必要はないと思いますが、ゆっくりしている余裕がないのは事実です。
No, no.
先ほど、さくらとリンが揉めていたようですから。
You have nothing to apologize for, but you have no time to relax. It appears Sakura and Rin were arguing earlier. Sakura and Tosaka are arguing? What's going on? Hold on. Don't throw me into a situation I don't understand just as I'm waking up. Is that happening in Tosaka's room?
いえ、今です。私も通りかかっただけですから、詳しくは知りませんが。
No, the living room. I just passed by, so I do not know the details. Got it. I'll head there now. Oh, but there's something I forgot to do.
何でしょうか、シロ。
What is it, Shiro? Good morning, Saber. Thanks for waking me. Aww. I greet her and then I head out to the hallway. But seriously, what the hell did Tosaka do to start an argument with Sakura? Tosaka! In the living room, there's no sign of Sakura. Tosaka is alone, casually watching the weather forecast on TV.
おはよう。朝っぱらから人の名前を叫ぶなんて穏やかじゃないわね。
Morning. What a way to start the morning, shouting my name like that. She turns around as if to ask if something had happened. Huh? That's weird. It doesn't look like she was fighting with Sakura at all. Morning. Hey, Tosaka, I heard you and Sakura were arguing. Is that true?
え？そっか。セイバーから聞いたのか。
Oh. Huh? Oh, from Saber.
ええ。客観的に見ればそういうことになるけど、別に大したことじゃないわよ。単にしばらくここには来るなって言いつけただけだから。
Yes, it may have seemed that way to an outside observer, but it was nothing, really. I just told her not to come here for a while. Huh? She's so casual about basically banning Sakura from my house. That's ridiculous. Sakura had already said no to staying away from this house. So there's no way she would agree even if we asked again.
ないけど、交換条件を出したら帰ってくれたわよ。さくらが1週間ここに来なければ、私はおとなしく家に戻るって言ったの。それで交渉成立。しぶしぶだけど帰っていったわ。あ、そうそう。シローによろしくだって。
She wouldn't agree, but she went home after I presented her with a compromise. I told her I would go back home without argument if she stays away for a week. She agreed to those terms. She went home, even if she was a little reluctant. Oh, right. She sends her regards. You did what? Why would she do something like that without telling me? ... Actually, I shouldn't yell at her for it. Tosaka's just done something I should have. You're right. Sorry for making you be the bad guy so early in the morning. You must feel terrible, Tosaka.
いや、別に面倒でも嫌でもなかったけど、なんだってそんなこと言うわけ、シロ?
Huh? No, it wasn't bad or unpleasant to me. Why would you think that, Shiro? Because weren't you and Sakura friends? Telling Sakura to leave not once but twice doesn't sound like a fun job. That's why I feel bad. I'm the one who should take the charge. I made you do the dirty work again.
けどそんなの。私だって自分の安全第一で桜を追い出したんだし。シロにそう謝られる筋合いなんてないわ。
That's fine. I just kicked out Sakura for my own safety. There's no reason for you to apologize. Huh? What do you mean for your own safety?
だってシンジがマスターだったんでしょ。
Well, you said Shinji's a master, right?
あいつのことだから、シロんとこに桜がいるって分かったら目の敵にするに決まってるもの。だからシンジとの決着がつくまでは桜はここにいさせない方がいいのよ。
Knowing him, if Shinji finds out Sakura comes here, he'll target this place, so it's best to keep Sakura away from here until we finish dealing with Shinji. Ah, I get it. She makes a good point. Shinji said that he doesn't tell Sakura anything. I don't think he was lying. But if he finds out his little sister comes here so often, he might get the wrong idea. You're right. It could look to Shinji like we're taking Sakura hostage.
そういうこと。もっともそんなことは別にして、ここが危険なことに変わりはないでしょ。
Exactly. But more importantly, this place is still
あん
dangerous.
まり頻繁に夜出歩かせるのもなんだし、しばらくは遠慮してもらった方がいいのよ。それが桜のためだし、私たちのためでもある。
Kurva. Fuj. Už mi došlo pití, já už nemám jak replenishovat svůj voice. I wouldn't want her to be walking around at night, so it's best for her to stay away from here for a while. This is for Sakura's own safety, as well as ours. Yeah, you're right. I feel bad for Sakura, but I'll just have to apologize and ask for her, Huh? Kamo, to je docela dost gramatických chyb. Prostě celý slova, který chybějí. I feel bad for Sakura, but I'll just have to apologize and ask for her forgiveness later. Though I won't be able to explain myself even when the time comes. This is really getting to me. I feel really bad about turning Sakura away like this. Even if it's temporary, she's been so unselfish about helping me for all this time.
あら、随分と元気がないこと。さっき人を怒鳴りつけてくれた異性はどこに行ったのかしらね。エミヤ君はそんなに桜がいないと寂しいのかな?
Oh, you look really down. What happened to all that energy you had when you shouted at me earlier? Are you all sad and lonely, not having Sakura around? Osaka grins maliciously. Oh crap, I've known she'd tease me whenever I show vulnerability. But I went and did it again. Leave me alone. Sakura was the symbol of peace at our house. She offset whatever Fujina and I were lacking. So of course I'm down about us sending her away for our own selfish reasons.
なんだ、よくわかってるじゃない。それだけ言えれば合格よ。少しは勝ち切ってのが出てきたみたいね。
Oh, so you understand? Nah. If you can't say that much, then you pass. I would say you're starting to get more determined. Huh? What are you trying to say?
わからない?つまりね、戦いが終われば桜は戻ってくるでしょ。
Don't you get it? Once this war ends, Sakura will come back.
シロは聖杯なんていらないって言うけど、それなら今まで会ってくれた平穏のために戦えばいい。ほら、目的がはっきりしていいじゃない?
You say you don't want the Holy Grail, but that just means you should fight to take back the peaceful life you had before. See? Now you have a clear goal. Tasaka smiles her very biggest smile. And she puts it like that. I really have no choice but to agree. Damn, I don't know what to say. What she said there confirms that she's both mean-spirited and ridiculously awesome at the same time.
じゃあしばらくさくらちゃんは来ないの?
What? So Sakura won't be coming here for a while? Yeah, that's what's going on. Why don't you do your parents a favor and go home once in a while for a change? Gramps was complaining about his daughter neglecting him.
お父さんなんかほっといてもいいの。私がいなくたって死にゃしないんだから。
Leave Dad out of this. He's not going to die or anything, whether I'm there or not.
それにね、さくらちゃんがいないんなら余計私がしっかりしなくちゃダメじゃない。シロだって男の子だもん。万が一があったら懲戒免職よ。そうなったら責任取ってくれる？シロ。
And with Sakura gone, I have to be even more vigilant. You're still a boy, so if anything fishy happens, I'll be the one who gets in trouble and even loses a job. If that happens, are you going to take responsibility, Shiro? That'll never happen. Sadly, since I'm a man, I can't really confidently deny that.
エミヤ君、何かしらね、今の止めは。
Emiya, why would you just sob? She glares. Tosaka's eyes bored into me from one side. I don't think anything would happen. Tosaka's not staying here for fun, you know. I sure know that.
そう。よかった。やっぱりエミヤ君は信用できますね、先生。
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Sounds like Emiya is trustworthy, Miss Fujimura.
当然です。シロは私でもちょっと趣味に走りすぎたかっていうぐらい落ち着いてるんだから。
Of course. Even from my point of view, Shiro is really composed. So much so, he might be overdoing it. Saber continues to eat in silence as she observes the two interacting. It's been 2 days, but I don't think I'll ever get used to this.
あ、そうそうシロ。弓道部のことなんだけどね。三辻さんが怪我したっていう話知ってる
？Sure. Oh, I forgot to tell you, Shiro. It's about the Kyoto Club. Did you hear Mitsuzuri got hurt? Mitsuzuri? Did she pick a fight with someone? In another club again? Honestly, she really needs to calm down. She's going to be a 3rd year soon. So, how she's doing? Is she hurt bad?
うん、それは大丈夫。軽い捻挫だって。学校の帰り道に怪しいやつに襲われたそうよ。
No, she's fine. She just sprained her ankle. She was apparently attacked by some shady guy on her way home.
あの子って俊足でしょ。スパーッと勢いよく逃げたんだけど、最後に転んで怪我したみたい。
You know, she runs fast. She made a mad dash, but it sounds like she fell and got hurt. I see. I'm glad nothing bad happened. But honestly, whoever tried to attack her is either a real daredevil or they're just reckless. Either way, they were a fool. I just thought...
てっきり逃げたんじゃなくてノックアウトしたって思ったんでしょう。
You thought you'd have knocked out the culprit out rather than run? Fujina grins. Yep, she sure knows Ayako Mitsuzuri well. Yeah, it's rare for Mitsuzuri to run away. But I guess she's not so tough against thieves. I suppose things worked out for the best. Something like that will probably teach her a thing or two about being feminine. I munch on my rice, nodding approvingly.
ねえねえ、エミヤ君。
Hey, Emiya. Suddenly, Rin Tosaka slaps my shoulders, smiling at me.
私からもちょっと耳寄りな話してあげよっか。
I have some news for you. Huh? What? I doubt it would be more interesting than what I just heard.
うん。今まで黙ってたけどね。私と綾子って仲良しなの。休みの日は2人で遊びに行くぐらいの仲って知ってた？
Yeah, I never mentioned this before, but Ayako and I are real good friends. Did you know we are close enough that we hang out on the weekends? Wait. Why are she and Mitsuzuri friends? Come again?
今の話、一言一句間違えずに伝えてあげるから安心して。エミヤ君も喜んでたって言ったら、綾子ったらそりゃあもう瓦10枚はぶち抜くぐらいに喜ぶんじゃないかな。
Oh, don't worry. I'm going to make sure I tell her every single word you just said. I'm sure if I tell her about how happy Emiya was when he heard about her predicament, why, I bet she'll break 10 stacks of tiles from sheer delight. I would like to amend my statement. See, it was just a figure of speech. It's not something I would be proud if people heard. So I would really appreciate if you kept it to yourself.
そうなの？ なら黙っていてもいいけど、それなりの条件がないときついかな。ほら、ついポロッと口に出ることってあるじゃない？
Samozřejmě. Oh, really? Well, I could keep quiet about it, but it would be really hard for me to do that unless there was maybe something in it for me. I might just accidentally slip up, you know. Can't believe this. Sure, you sound sincere, but I'm not buying it.
あら、ごめんなさい。別に楽しいわけじゃないから誤解しないでね。
Oh, I'm sorry. Don't get me wrong, I'm not playing around here. Yeah, there's no misunderstanding here. She's enjoying this. Got it. I'll start making Western-style breakfast from now on. You said earlier, you mentioned that breakfast should have bread.
上的ね。マーマレードだけじゃなくて、いちごのジャムも忘れないでくれると嬉しいわ。
Good. And I think some jams, apart from marmalade, would be nice. Like strawberry jam. I don't know what you have against Japanese breakfast, you foreigner wannabe. I can't believe you'd so radically change our breakfast just to suit your needs, you tyrant.
いいえ、それは違います。朝食がパンになるのは私も嬉しい。加えて半熟の卵を用意していただければ文句はないのですが。
Some beans, perhaps? Good sir, I'd like some beans on my toast. It's not entirely true. Oh, Saber. It's not entirely true. I'll also be pleased to have bread served at a breakfast. Soft-boiled eggs would also be an excellent addition. Saber jumps right into the discussion. Is that so? Fine. You all just want Western-style food. Damn it. Sakura makes a Western-style breakfast one time and it goes right into your heads. Fine then, I'll serve bread for tomorrow, so no more complaints, right? So what's said here stays here. Don't you dare blab about this to Mitsuzuri. I hop and shove rice into my mouth without looking at either of them. And then... How should we be doing something so pointless? Fujine, who had been watching our conversation with a look of wonderment, finally speaks up. What? What do you mean pointless?
だって東坂さんが話さなくても私が三辻さんに話しちゃうじゃん。こんな面白い話黙ってられないよ私。
Even if Tosaka isn't going to say anything, I'm going to tell Mitsuzuri anyway. No way would I pass up talking about something so interesting. Fujine shakes her head disapprovingly as she eats. ... Actually, I need to think of a way to deal with her, or I'm really in trouble. Breakfast ends and it's 7:30. Fujine surprisingly stays back and suggests that the three of us walk to school. But we can't do that. I made a decision last night. Now that I've said I won't rely on Saber, I can't afford to take it easy anymore. Then, let's go. Did you lock up, Shiro? No, don't worry about locking up. I'm not going to school today. I wave Fujine and Tosaka off. Fujine freezes, stupefied for just a few seconds. What? What do you mean you're not going to school? Eh? Huh? Tosaka beat Fujine to the chase. That's right. You don't look sick enough to miss school today, Shiro. Když mi jak vypadá flowchart. Ok, to jenom vede straight, ok. Jo, tady to uložím, mám velice dry throat. Potřebuju pít. Ok, čete? Tady to byl 3hodinový stream, dostali jsme se už do 7. dne. Jestli si pamatuju svůj fate správně, tak je 14 dnů, nebo nějakých 15, takže jsme buď v půlce, nebo skoro v půlce. Každopádně doufám, že jste si užili dnešní stream. Dneska jsem ho udělal docela dlouhej, jsem pyšnej. Každopádně, doufám, že se uvidíme při dalším Fate Stay Nightu. A do té doby se snad uvidíme a nashledanou.